This is Easy Drift Sleep, and tonight we have something special for you. We are going to guide you through your ancient Aztec journey, uncovering its hidden corners and forgotten details. If these evenings bring you comfort, tap subscribe now. Your next story is always just one sleep away. Take a slow breath, release what you are holding, and let your story begin. The first whispers of dawn, cool and ethereal, brushed against the volcanic peaks that guarded the Valley of Mexico, painting their rugged slopes with hues of lavender and rose. Slowly, deliberately, the light crept down, spilling over the vast, shimmering expanse of Lake Texcoco, where the island city of Tenochtitlan lay like a jewel, still slumbering beneath a blanket of mist. As the sun's nascent rays finally touched the highest platforms of the Templo Mayor, a golden glow ignited the twin shrines dedicated to Xochitl and Tlaloc, making the carved stone serpents at its base appear to stir from their ancient slumber. The air, crisp and fresh from the night, carried the earthy scent of damp soil from the countless chinampas, those floating gardens that fed a mighty empire, mingling subtly with the sweet, resinous aroma of copal incense that had lingered from the previous evening's rituals. A profound stillness held the city, a moment of sacred pause before the vibrant pulse of daily life began to thrum. Along a quiet, reed-lined canal, where the water lay like polished obsidian reflecting the emerging sky, Xochitl performed her morning ablutions. Her movements were fluid and practiced, a ritual as old as the mountains themselves. She knelt on a smooth, cool stone, dipping a small clay bowl into the calm water, feeling its refreshing chill against her skin as she splashed it gently over her face and arms. The canal, a vital artery of her city, was her sanctuary in these early hours, a place where the world felt pristine and full of promise. She watched, captivated, as the first light kissed the ripples her hands had made, transforming the dark surface into a mosaic of shifting gold and silver. A profound sense of gratitude swelled within her chest, a quiet acknowledgement of the sun's unwavering return, a daily miracle that spoke of life's enduring cycle. She thought of her ancestors, of the countless generations who had knelt by these very waters, witnessing the same celestial ballet, finding solace and strength in its predictable beauty. The city was waking around her, but in this moment, Xochitl felt utterly connected to the quiet heart of the world, a single, living thread in the vast, intricate tapestry of existence. As the sun climbed higher, casting longer shadows and painting the eastern sky in bolder strokes of orange and crimson, the city began to hum with a different kind of energy. In Tlatelolco, the great market, a symphony of activity was already beginning to unfold. Merchants, their faces still etched with the remnants of sleep but alight with purpose, began to unload their wares from canoes that had navigated the canals under the cover of darkness. The air here was thicker, richer, laden with the promise of commerce, the pungent spice of chilies, the sweet earthiness of maize, the faint, exotic perfume of tropical flowers. Xochitl, a man whose laughter was as robust as his build, surveyed his stall with a critical eye, ensuring his meticulously arranged piles of cacao beans gleamed under the burgeoning light. He adjusted a stack of vibrant quetzal feathers, their iridescent greens and blues catching the light like captured rainbows. His reputation as a fair but shrewd trader was well-earned, built on years of early mornings and late nights, of understanding the subtle dance between supply and demand. A familiar figure, a woman with eyes that sparkled even at this early hour, approached his stall. "It's Xochitl, my friend," she called out, her voice a melodic chime. "Do your cacao beans hold the warmth of the sun this morning, or are they still dreaming of the night?" Xochitl chuckled, a deep, rumbling sound that seemed to shake the very ground beneath his sandals. "Ah, Xochitl. For you, they hold the very essence of the morning star itself, though I suspect you'll still try to bargain them down to the price of river stones." He winked, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "But truly, these are from the rich lands of Xochitl, plump and potent. Worth every single one of your precious obsidian blades, I assure you." Xochitl laughed, a bright, clear sound that drew the attention of a passing vendor. "Perhaps," she mused, picking up a handful of beans and rolling them in her palm, "but my obsidian blades are sharp enough to cut through even your most charming exaggerations. How many Quetzal feathers for a full measure of these sun-kissed beans, then? And don't tell me they're from the sacred groves of the gods, for I saw a man selling similar ones yesterday, claiming they were plucked from the very tail of a celestial serpent." Their good-natured haggling was a familiar dance, a daily ritual that brought a smile to Xochitl's face. It was more than just commerce. It was a connection, a thread in the intricate web of community that bound Tenochtitlan together. He loved the energy of the market, the vibrant tapestry of human interaction, the endless stream of stories and gossip that flowed as freely as the canals themselves. He believed that a good merchant wasn't just selling goods, he was selling trust, connection, and a little bit of joy. The weight of empire, he knew, rested on the shoulders of warriors and priests, but its heart beat in the bustling markets, in the exchange of goods and laughter, in the daily rhythms of ordinary people. Further away from the immediate clamor of the market, in a small, sun-dappled courtyard adorned with pots of marigolds, Malinali sat before her backstrap loom. Her fingers, gnarled with age but still remarkably nimble, moved with an almost hypnotic grace, guiding the threads of cotton and agave fiber into intricate patterns. She hummed softly, a low, melodic tune that seemed to ripple through the air, an ancient song passed down through generations, its lyrics speaking of maize gods and rain spirits, of the eternal cycle of planting and harvest. Each thread she wove was imbued with a piece of her memory, a fragment of the stories her grandmother had told her, of the dreams she had dreamt beneath the vast, star-strewn sky. Malinali was a keeper of traditions, her textiles not merely garments but visual narratives, each design a symbol, each color a prayer. She felt a profound sense of contentment as the fabric slowly grew beneath her hands, a tangible manifestation of patience and skill. The rhythmic thwack of the baton against the warp threads was a soothing counterpoint to the distant sounds of the waking city, a steady beat that resonated with the rhythm of her own heart. She remembered the vibrant patterns of her youth, the bold colors that had celebrated victories and festivals, and the more somber hues that had marked times of mourning. Now, as an elder, her work often focused on the subtle beauty of natural dyes, on patterns that spoke of the earth and sky, of the interconnectedness of all living things. She knew that the world was changing, that new ideas and new challenges were always on the horizon, but she believed that by preserving these ancient crafts, by weaving these stories into existence, she was helping to anchor her people to their roots, to the enduring spirit of their ancestors. Meanwhile, on the calm, glassy surface of Lake Texcoco, just beyond the bustling causeways that connected the island city to the mainland, young Tlalocan was already engaged in rigorous training. His small, agile canoe cut through the water with precision, propelled by the powerful, disciplined strokes of his paddle. Sweat beaded on his brow, catching the morning sun, but his focus remained unwavering, his gaze fixed on the distant marker. He was still young, barely a man, but the weight of expectation already rested upon his shoulders. He was destined for the prestigious jaguar or eagle warrior societies, a path that demanded unwavering discipline and an unyielding spirit. His instructor, a grizzled veteran with a face etched by battles and sun, watched from a larger canoe, his expression stern but approving. "Faster, Tlalocan," he called out, his voice carrying clearly across the water. "Imagine the enemy at your heels. Imagine the honor of your ancestors watching." Tlalocan pushed harder, his muscles burning with effort, his breath coming in ragged gasps. He felt the canoe respond to his will, gliding effortlessly, a natural extension of his own body. He loved the feeling of the water beneath him, the rhythmic pull of the paddle, the sheer physical exertion that sharpened his mind and honed his senses. He knew that the strength of the empire, its ability to expand and protect its vast territories, depended on warriors like him. He understood the cycle of life and death, the necessity of sacrifice and courage. He dreamt of glory, of earning the respect of his peers, of proving himself worthy of the legacy of his people. With each powerful stroke, he felt himself growing stronger, more determined, more connected to the ancient traditions of his warrior lineage. The distant cries of market vendors, the rhythmic thrum of Malinali's loom, the gentle lapping of water against the chinampas, all faded into the background, replaced by the singular focus of his training, a testament to his unwavering discipline and fierce ambition. The sun, a fiery orb climbing higher above the eastern volcanoes, began to warm the cool morning air, casting long, dancing shadows across the bustling causeways and the shimmering surface of Lake Texcoco. The city of Tenochtitlan, a marvel of human ingenuity and spiritual devotion, awoke with a symphony of sounds and scents, each note a testament to the vibrant life pulsating through its canals and temples. While warriors honed their skills and merchants prepared their wares, other souls within the great city pursued their own profound callings, their paths interwoven with the very fabric of their world, yet distinct in their quiet intensity. Far from the boisterous training grounds, nestled amidst the meticulously cultivated plots of land that fed the vast metropolis, Xochitl, whose name whispered of flowers, found her sanctuary within the botanical gardens. This was no mere collection of pretty blossoms, but a living library, a sacred repository of the earth's wisdom, meticulously curated by generations of healers and scholars. The air here was thick with the earthy scent of damp soil, the sharp, invigorating aroma of crushed herbs, and the subtle, sweet perfume of exotic blooms that had traveled from distant, verdant lands. The gentle hum of bees, industrious and unwavering, provided a constant, lulling backdrop to her studies. Xochitl moved with a quiet grace among the raised beds, her hands, slender and knowing, brushing lightly against the leaves of a Tenochtitlan plant, its bell-shaped flowers a deceptive invitation to slumber. She wore a simple huipil woven with delicate patterns of jade and turquoise, its soft cotton a comforting caress against her skin as she knelt beside a patch of payatl, its small, spineless buttons holding secrets of vision and spirit. Her dark, obsidian eyes, usually alight with an inquisitive spark, now held a deep, tranquil focus, absorbing every nuance of the living things around her. She was not merely observing, she was listening, her spirit attuned to the silent language of the plants, a language spoken in the texture of a leaf, the hue of a petal, the intricate architecture of a root system. Her fingers, stained faintly green from earlier preparations, carefully plucked a few leaves from a Yortley bush, their pungent, anise-like fragrance immediately filling the air. This plant, she knew, was a powerful ally against fevers, its essence capable of cooling the internal fires that ravaged the body. She held the leaves to her nose, inhaling deeply, allowing the scent to permeate her senses, to become a part of her understanding. For Xochitl, healing was not just a practice, it was a profound communion, a sacred trust between humanity and the boundless generosity of the earth. She believed, with an unwavering conviction, that every ailment had its counterpart in the plant kingdom, a natural remedy waiting to be discovered, understood, and respectfully applied. Her aspiration was not merely to alleviate suffering, but to comprehend the intricate balance of the human body and spirit, to see how the cosmic forces that governed the stars also resonated within the smallest seed. She envisioned herself as a bridge between these realms, a conduit through which the Earth's healing energies could flow. This was a calling that had blossomed within her since childhood, nurtured by her grandmother, a revered Xochitl whose gentle hands and profound knowledge had saved countless lives. Xochitl carried a small, leather-bound codex, its pages filled with intricate drawings of plants and meticulous notes in Nahuatl, a legacy passed down through generations. Today, she carefully added a new sketch of the Xochitl, Xochitl, its vibrant red flowers a symbol of life and passion, noting its use in treating skin ailments. The scratch of her reed pen on the dried amatl paper was the only sound breaking the quiet reverence of her study. As the morning progressed, the sun climbed higher, its rays filtering through the dense canopy of fruit trees, dappling the ground with shifting patterns of light and shadow. Xochitl moved from plant to plant, her mind a vibrant tapestry of knowledge and curiosity. She examined the delicate tendrils of a Xochitl, known for its calming properties, and then knelt before a robust Tlacapatli, its roots prized for their strength-giving essence. Each plant told a story, a narrative of growth and resilience, of adaptation and survival, mirroring, in a profound way, the very cycle of life and death that governed all existence. She understood that even in decay, there was renewal, that the fallen leaf nurtured the soil for new growth, a constant, gentle reminder of the interconnectedness of all things. The weight of this understanding, far from being a burden, filled her with a deep sense of purpose, a quiet joy in her chosen path. Meanwhile, high above the bustling streets and verdant gardens, atop the towering grandeur of the Templo Mayor, Templo Mayor, Xochitl, whose name evoked the soaring eagle, found his own profound communion with the cosmos. His sanctuary was the observatory, a quiet, sacred space where the earthly clamor faded into a distant hum, replaced by the silent, majestic symphony of the heavens. The air here, though thinner, carried the faint, sweet aroma of copal incense, a lingering testament to the nightly rituals performed to honor the gods of the sky. Xochitl, an astronomer priest of exceptional intellect and unwavering devotion, sat cross-legged on a woven mat, surrounded by an array of codices and star charts. The walls of the observatory were adorned with intricate carvings depicting celestial bodies and mythical creatures, their forms illuminated by the soft, diffused light filtering through strategically placed openings. His hands, strong and calloused from years of handling heavy instruments and delicate manuscripts, carefully unrolled a long, painted codex, its pages a vibrant chronicle of astronomical observations spanning centuries. The colors, rich and deep, depicted the precise movements of Venus, the cycles of the moon, and the predictable paths of the constellations, each stroke a testament to the meticulous dedication of his predecessors. His gaze, keen and penetrating, traced the glyphs and symbols, his mind already calculating, interpreting, searching for patterns within the seemingly chaotic dance of the stars. Xochitl was a guardian of time, a keeper of the celestial calendar that governed every aspect of Mexica, life, from the planting of crops to the timing of sacred rituals. He understood that humanity's place in the cosmos was not one of insignificance, but one of profound connection, a mirror reflecting the grand design of the universe. The movements of the celestial bodies were not merely physical phenomena, they were the very breath of the gods, omens, and prophecies etched into the night sky, waiting to be read by those with the wisdom and spiritual clarity to understand them. He leaned closer to a specific section of the codex, his brow furrowed in intense concentration. The glyph for the planet Venus, Tlahuizcolpantecutli, the Lord of the Dawn, was prominent, surrounded by notations indicating its heliacal rising and setting. These were crucial moments, believed to hold immense power and significance for the fate of the empire. Xochitl felt the weight of prophecy pressing upon him, a responsibility that transcended his own mortal existence. He was a link in a long chain of knowledge, entrusted with the sacred duty of interpreting the divine will, of guiding his people through the intricate dance of cosmic forces. He picked up a polished obsidian mirror, its dark, reflective surface used not for vanity, but for observing the sun's path and for scrying, for glimpsing visions of the future. He held it up, allowing a shaft of sunlight to strike its surface, projecting a shimmering disk onto a marked stone slab on the floor. This was one of the many tools he employed, combining ancient wisdom with precise observation, a testament to the intellectual rigor that underpinned their spiritual practices. The quiet intensity of his work was palpable, a silent dialogue between his brilliant mind and the vast, unknowable expanse of the universe. Next to him lay a collection of meticulously carved bone instruments, their surfaces etched with astronomical symbols, used for sighting and measuring the positions of stars. He picked up one, its cool, smooth surface a familiar comfort in his hand, and peered through its narrow aperture, aligning it with a distant point on the horizon, mentally calibrating its position against the rising sun. He was constantly refining his understanding, seeking greater precision, knowing that even the smallest deviation could alter a prophecy, could misinterpret a divine message. Xochitl's thoughts drifted to the cyclical nature of time, the grand cosmic dance of creation and destruction, of life and death, all woven into the fabric of the universe. He pondered the prophecies of the fifth sun, the current era, and the looming possibility of its end, a concept that filled him with both reverence and a quiet, profound apprehension. This was not a fear of personal demise, but a deep concern for the fate of his people, for the preservation of their culture, their memory, and their sacred traditions. He believed that by understanding the celestial cycles, By honoring the gods with unwavering devotion, they could perhaps influence their destiny, could navigate the turbulent waters of cosmic change. His gaze read to the codex, his fingers tracing the intricate patterns of a star chart depicting the constellation of the Scorpion, Xochitl. He felt a profound connection to the ancient astronomers who had first charted these paths, their wisdom echoing through the centuries, a testament to the enduring power of human intellect and spiritual quest. The allure of the cosmos was not just in its mystery, but in its order, its predictable rhythms, which offered a sense of stability in a world constantly in flux. Yet, he also recognized the inherent burden of empire, the constant need for sacrifice, for appeasement, for maintaining the delicate balance between the earthly realm and the divine. The stars, in their silent majesty, held both the promise of glory and the shadow of impending change, a duality that resonated deeply within his contemplative soul. As the morning wore on, Xochitl continued her quiet work in the botanical gardens, her hands gently tending to the leaving earth, her mind absorbing the profound wisdom of the plants. Xochitl, high above, remained immersed in his celestial calculations, his intellect grappling with the immense mysteries of the cosmos. Though their paths were distinct, their pursuits were profoundly interconnected, both seeking to understand the intricate dance of life, death, and renewal, both dedicated to preserving the sacred knowledge that sustained their magnificent civilization. The gentle lapping of water against the chinampas, the distant, rhythmic beat of a teponaztli, drum, and the sweet aroma of copal, incense all wove together, creating a tapestry of sound and scent that enveloped the great city, a testament to its vibrant life, its profound spirituality, and its unwavering connection to the earth and the sky. The gentle lapping of water against the chinampas, the distant, rhythmic beat of a teponaztli, drum, and the sweet aroma of copal, incense all wove together, creating a tapestry of sound and scent that enveloped the great city, a testament to its vibrant life, its profound spirituality, and its unwavering connection to the earth and the sky. As the sun climbed higher, casting its golden light across the shimmering surface of Lake Texcoco and illuminating the intricate network of canals, the heart of Tenochtitlan began to pulse with the vibrant energy of its daily rhythm. Canoes, laden with fresh produce from the floating gardens, glided silently along the waterways, their paddlers expertly navigating the bustling thoroughfares. The air, still cool from the pre-dawn hours, slowly warmed, carrying with it the earthy scent of damp soil from the chinampas, the sweet perfume of blooming flowers, and the savory aroma of roasting maize from countless hearths. Xochitl, a young merchant with eyes that held the wisdom of generations of traders, guided his own canoe through the labyrinthine canals, his movements fluid and practiced. He had spent the morning gathering a selection of vibrant quetzal feathers and polished obsidian mirrors, precious goods destined for the bustling Tlatelolco market. The rhythmic dip of his paddle in the water was a familiar comfort, a steady beat accompanying the symphony of the awakening city. He watched as women in brightly woven garments haggled good-naturedly over baskets of chiles and squash, their voices a melodic hum that blended with the chirping of unseen birds. Children, their laughter like scattered jewels, chased each other along the narrow causeways, their bare feet kicking up puffs of dust. It was a scene of profound beauty and enduring life, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of his people. As he approached the main market district, the sounds grew louder, more insistent. The clatter of pottery, the calls of vendors, the murmur of 1,000 conversations all merged into a powerful current of human activity. Xochitl secured his canoe to a sturdy mooring post, his gaze sweeping across the vibrant tableau before him. He admired the towering pyramids of Tlatelolco in the distance, their stone faces catching the morning light, silent guardians of the city's commerce. The market was a kaleidoscope of colors and textures, heaps of glistening jade, intricate gold ornaments, finely spun cotton textiles, and exotic fruits piled high in woven baskets. Each stall was a small universe, offering a glimpse into the vast reach of the Aztec Empire, where goods flowed from distant lands, enriching the heart of Tenochtitlan. Suddenly, a hush began to fall over the bustling market, a ripple of quiet spreading from the direction of the sacred precinct. Xochitl, accustomed to the city's rhythms, instinctively knew what it signified. A procession was approaching, one of great importance. He watched as people respectfully parted, creating a wide avenue through the crowded stalls. The air grew heavy with the sweet, intoxicating scent of copal incense, now much stronger, signaling the proximity of the sacred. Then, the low, sonorous chanting began, a deep, resonant sound that seemed to vibrate through the very stones of the city. First came the standard bearers, their tall poles adorned with shimmering Quetzal feathers and intricate symbols of the gods. Behind them, moving with slow, deliberate steps, came the priests, their white robes stark against the vibrant backdrop of the market. Their faces, painted with ritualistic designs, were solemn and unreadable, their eyes fixed on some distant, unseen point. At the head of the procession walked Xochitl, the serpent woman, the highest priest and chief advisor to the Tlatoani, the emperor. His obsidian eyes, usually sharp and penetrating, seemed to hold an even deeper gravity today, his movements imbued with a profound sense of purpose. He carried a sacred bundle, wrapped in finely woven cloth, its contents known only to a select few. The weight of his office, the immense responsibility he bore for the spiritual well-being of the entire empire, seemed to emanate from him, an almost palpable force. First came the standard bearers, their tall poles adorned with shimmering Quetzal, feathers and intricate symbols of the gods. Behind them, moving with slow, deliberate steps, came the priests, their white robes stark against the vibrant backdrop of the market. Their faces, painted with ritualistic designs, were solemn and unreadable, their eyes fixed on some distant, unseen point. At the head of the procession walked Xochitl, the serpent woman, the highest priest and chief advisor to the Tlatoani, the emperor. His obsidian eyes, usually sharp and penetrating, seemed to hold an even deeper gravity today, his movements imbued with a profound sense of purpose. He carried a sacred bundle, wrapped in finely woven cloth, its contents known only to a select few. The weight of his office, the immense responsibility he bore for the spiritual well-being of the entire empire, seemed to emanate from him, an almost palpable force. Xochitl felt a shiver trace down his spine, a mixture of awe and apprehension. He had always respected the priests, understanding their vital role in maintaining the delicate balance between the human world and the divine. They were the intermediaries, the interpreters of the god's will, and their rituals were the very bedrock upon which the empire stood. The procession moved with an imposing majesty, a living embodiment of the spiritual power that permeated every aspect of Aztec life. It was a reminder that even in the midst of commerce and daily life, the gods were ever present, their influence shaping destinies and demanding reverence. The chanting grew louder, drawing all eyes towards the sacred path. Just as the procession reached the central plaza, where the towering Templo Mayor dominated the skyline, a low, guttural rumble echoed across the lake. It was not the familiar sound of distant thunder, nor the gentle tremor of a minor earth movement, but something deeper, more resonant, like the earth itself sighing a profound, ancient sigh. The sound seemed to originate from the distant volcanic peaks, their majestic forms usually serene against the azure sky, now appearing to hold a hidden, unsettling power. A momentary hush fell over the market, a sudden, collective intake of breath. The vibrant chatter died down, the calls of vendors ceased, and even the children's laughter was momentarily stilled. Heads turned, eyes wide with a fleeting apprehension, searching the horizon, trying to pinpoint the source of the unsettling sound. The rhythmic beat of the teponazli drum, which had been a constant, reassuring pulse throughout the morning, faltered for a beat, then resumed, though now with a slightly more urgent, almost frantic rhythm. The priests in the procession, however, did not break their stride, their solemn faces betraying no outward reaction, yet Xochitl noticed a subtle tightening in Xochitl's jaw, a barely perceptible flicker in his deep-set eyes. The air, already thick with incense, now seemed to carry a new, subtle weight, a premonition of something vast and unknowable. The rumble faded as quickly as it had come, leaving behind a lingering sense of unease. The market slowly began to stir again, the sounds of commerce tentatively resuming, but the momentary silence had left its mark, a subtle shift in the atmosphere. Xochitl felt a knot tighten in his stomach. Such omens were not to be dismissed lightly. The priests, he knew, would be consulting their diviners, searching for meaning in the earth's strange voice. The weight of prophecy and omens was a constant presence in their world, shaping decisions, influencing actions, and reminding everyone of humanity's place within the vast, often mysterious, cosmos. He continued setting out his wares, arranging the iridescent feathers and polished obsidian with practiced precision, but his mind was no longer fully on his task. His ears, now more attuned, began to pick up snippets of hushed conversations drifting from nearby stalls. Old women, their faces etched with the wisdom of many seasons, spoke in low tones, their eyes darting nervously. Men, usually boisterous in their trading, leaned in close, their voices barely above a whisper. "Did you feel that, old woman?" one merchant murmured to his neighbor, his voice raspy with concern. The earth itself groaning. "Aye," she replied, her voice a dry rustle like corn husks. "And the priests, they say nothing, but their faces tell a different story. The omens have been heavy of late, haven't they?" Xochitl pretended to adjust a stack of cotton blankets, his senses straining to catch more. He had heard the whispers too, vague rumors that had been circulating for weeks, like tendrils of mist creeping through the canals. Strange occurrences, comets streaking across the night sky, a temple mysteriously catching fire, a woman's wailing cry heard in the darkness, speaking of impending doom. The Tlatoani, Moctezuma, was known to be deeply troubled by these signs, consulting his wisest seers and diviners with increasing frequency. The burden of empire, Xochitl realized, was not merely one of governance and conquest, but also of interpreting the divine will, of navigating a world where the spiritual and the physical were inextricably intertwined. Then, a phrase, spoken by a grizzled old fisherman, drifted clearly to his ears, sending a chill down his spine despite the warming sun. They say, from the east. Strange men, pale as the morning mist, with beards like corn silk. Xochitl froze, his hand hovering over a piece of polished jade. He had heard this particular whisper before, but it had always seemed like a fanciful tale, a traveler's exaggeration. Now, spoken with such quiet conviction, it felt different, more real, more immediate. He turned his head subtly, feigning interest in a nearby pottery stall, but his attention was entirely on the conversation. Pale men, another voice, younger and more skeptical, scoffed. "What nonsense is this? Have we not heard such tales before of mythical beings from beyond the great water?" "Nay, this is different," the fisherman insisted, his voice low and urgent. "My cousin, he trades far to the east, along the coast. He saw them with his own eyes. Great canoes, larger than any we have ever built, with sails like giant white wings. And the men, they wear strange coverings, and carry sticks that spit fire and thunder." A collective gasp rippled through the small group. Fire and thunder? The words hung in the air, heavy with foreboding. Xochitl felt a cold dread begin to coil in his gut. His people understood the power of the storm, the raw force of nature, but sticks that spit fire and thunder? It was an image that defied comprehension, a concept that shattered the familiar boundaries of their world. "And their skin," the fisherman continued, his voice dropping to an even lower whisper, "like the underside of a fish, and hair like the sun-dried maize silk. They speak a tongue that sounds like the chattering of monkeys, and their eyes, they are like the eyes of hungry jaguars, always searching, always wanting." Xochitl's heart began to beat a little faster, a frantic drum against his ribs. The description was so vivid, so unsettling. He had always known the world extended beyond the Great Lake, beyond the mountains, but his people had been the undisputed masters of this land for centuries, their empire stretching far and wide. The idea of an unknown, powerful force emerging from the vast, mysterious Eastern Ocean was deeply unsettling. It challenged their understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos, of the natural order of things. He remembered the old stories, the prophecies of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, who was said to have departed to the east, promising one day to return. Could these strange men be connected to that ancient prophecy? The thought sent a shiver of both fear and awe through him. The weight of prophecy and omens was not just a priestly concern, it touched every soul in Tenochtitlan, shaping their fears and their hopes. He watched as the fishermen's companions exchanged worried glances, their faces etched with a growing anxiety. The vibrant energy of the market, though outwardly restored, now felt subtly altered, infused with a new undercurrent of apprehension. The rhythmic beat of the distant Teponazli drum, which had once been a comforting pulse, now seemed to carry a more urgent, almost warning tone. The sweet aroma of copal incense, usually a symbol of devotion and peace, now felt like a veil, attempting to mask a growing unease. Xochitl's mind raced, trying to reconcile these unsettling whispers with the familiar, ordered world around him. His entire life had been defined by the cycles of the sun, the seasons, the rituals of his people. This news, these vague yet persistent rumors of strange, pale-skinned men from the east, introduced an element of profound uncertainty, a crack in the carefully constructed edifice of their reality. It was a foreboding shadow cast over the brilliant light of their civilization, a hint that the currents of change, once distant and imperceptible, were now drawing closer, threatening to disrupt the very foundations of their world. He felt a deep, gnawing worry, not just for himself, but for his family, for his city, for the magnificent culture that had flourished for so long in this sacred valley. The resilience of his people had been tested before, but this felt different, an unknown challenge from an unknown world, carrying with it the heavy burden of empire and the unsettling allure of an uncertain future. The sun, a fiery orb sinking below the western mountains, cast long, purple shadows across the vast expanse of Lake Texcoco, painting the sky in hues of tangerine and rose. As the last sliver of light vanished, the city of Tenochtitlan, typically a vibrant tapestry of sound and movement, seemed to hold its breath, a hush descending upon its intricate network of canals and causeways. The rhythmic beating of a distant Templo drum, usually a comforting pulse, now carried a subtle, unsettling cadence across the water, a low thrum that resonated not just in the air, but deep within the chests of those who heard it. In a modest dwelling on the edge of a chinampas, where the earthy scent of damp soil mingled with the sweet, rising aroma of night-blooming jasmine, Xochitl sat beside her grandmother, embark. The small, enclosed space, woven from reeds and adobe, offered a sanctuary from the encroaching twilight, illuminated only by the flickering golden glow of a hearth fire. Flames danced and crackled, casting dancing shadows upon the walls, making the woven mats and hanging gourds seem to shift and sway with an ethereal life of their own. The air, thick with the comforting smell of wood smoke and dried herbs, felt heavy, charged with an unspoken anticipation. Embark, her face a roadmap of ancient wisdom etched by time and sun, her hands, gnarled and strong from countless hours at the loom, carefully adjusted a small clay pot simmering over the embers. Steam, fragrant with maize and chilies, rose in a gentle plume, momentarily obscuring her profile. She was a woman of profound quietude, her words chosen with the precision of a master weaver selecting threads, each one imbued with purpose and weight. Xochitl, her own young face alight with curiosity and a growing unease she couldn't quite name, watched her grandmother's every move, sensing the shift in the elder's demeanor, a gravity that had settled upon her like the evening mist. "The air tastes different tonight, my flower," Malinali finally said, her voice a soft rustle, like dry leaves stirred by a gentle breeze. She did not look at Xochitl directly, her gaze fixed on the mesmerized dance of the flames, as if seeking answers within their fiery heart. "It carries the scent of change, a scent I have known before, though never so strongly." Xochitl, tracing the intricate patterns on her woven skirt with a thoughtful finger, leaned closer. "What kind of change, grandmother? Is it the season turning, or the rains coming early?" She tried to imbue her voice with a lightness she did not truly feel, a faint tremor betraying her growing apprehension. She had heard the whispers in the market, the hushed conversations among the women at the communal grinding stones, tales of strange omens and unsettling dreams. Malinali sighed, a slow, deep exhalation that seemed to carry the accumulated wisdom of generations. She reached out, her calloused fingers gently taking Xochitl's hand, her touch both warm and firm. "No, little one, not the turning of the seasons, though the seasons too are but reflections of grander cycles. This change, it is woven into the very fabric of our world, a thread that has been waiting, patiently, for its moment to be pulled." She paused, her eyes finally meeting Xochitl's, and in their depths, Xochitl saw a profound sadness, an ancient sorrow that seemed to stretch back through countless lifetimes. "It is a prophecy, my child, one whispered by our ancestors, passed down through the weavers and the dreamers, a tale of the great serpent and the coming of the strangers." Xochitl's breath caught in her throat. The great serpent, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, was a figure of immense reverence and mystery, a deity of creation, wisdom, and the winds. His return was a concept both sacred and terrifying, often associated with profound upheaval. "The strangers, grandmother? Who are they? Are they from the lands beyond the mountains, or from across the great water?" Her mind raced, conjuring images from the stories she had heard, of fierce warriors from distant lands, of traders with exotic goods. Malinali nodded slowly, her gaze returning to the fire, as if the flames held the answers she sought. "From across the great water, my dear. From the place where the sun is born each morning, from the very edge of the sky. The prophecy speaks of large canoes, their sails like the wings of giant birds, carrying men with pale skin and beards like corn silk, men who speak in a tongue unknown to our ears, yet whose arrival is foretold in the stars and in the shifting patterns of the earth." Her voice, though soft, resonated with an undeniable authority, the weight of ancient knowledge flowing through her. "The prophecy says that these strangers will bring with them a new dawn, but also a long shadow," Malinali continued, her voice dropping to a near whisper, "a shadow that will fall upon our temples, upon our fields, upon the very heart of our people. It speaks of a time when the old ways will be challenged, when the balance of the world will be tilted, and when our faith will be tested in ways we cannot yet imagine." She picked up a small, unspun ball of cotton, her fingers absently teasing apart the fibers, her actions mirroring the unraveling of the future she described. "It is a time of both destruction and creation, a time when the old gods may seem to sleep, and new gods may demand worship. It is the cycle, Xochitl, the endless turning of the great wheel, where life gives way to death, and from death, new life emerges, often in forms we do not recognize." Xochitl shivered, despite the warmth of the fire. The tales of Quetzalcoatl's return were often intertwined with notions of renewal, but also of judgment, of the world being remade. The thought of strangers, so different from any people she had ever known, arriving with such profound implications, filled her with a mixture of fear and a strange, unsettling curiosity. "But grandmother, our empire is strong. Our warriors are brave. Our gods protect us. How could strangers from across the water bring such change?" Her voice was small, laced with a nascent defiance, a youthful inability to fully grasp the immensity of what Malinali was describing. Malinali offered a faint, melancholic smile. Strength, my child, is not always measured in spears or in the height of our pyramids. True strength lies in the spirit, in the resilience of the heart, in the ability to adapt and to remember who we are, even when the world around us shifts like the sands of the desert. The prophecy does not speak of conquest in the way our warriors understand it, but of a deeper, more insidious change, a change of spirit, of belief, of the very essence of our being. She paused, her eyes distant, as if peering into the mists of time. It speaks of a time when the threads of our destiny will be rewoven, not by our own hands, but by forces from beyond our knowing. And in that reweaving, some threads will be broken, some colors will fade, and new patterns will emerge, patterns we may not understand, patterns that may not be of our choosing. The fire crackled, a sudden burst of sparks momentarily illuminating the ancient lines on Malinali's face. The prophecy also speaks of those who will guide us through this time, those who will remember the old ways, who will carry the seeds of our culture forward, even through the long shadow. It speaks of those with open hearts and clear eyes, those who can see beyond the immediate fear and discern the deeper currents of the cosmos. You, Xochitl, have a spirit that listens, a heart that feels the whispers of the earth. Pay heed to the signs, my flower. Watch the sky, listen to the wind, observe the patterns of the water. For the world is speaking to us, if only we learn to listen. As Malinali spoke, a profound sense of gravity settled upon Xochitl, a weight she had never before experienced. The comforting warmth of the hearth now felt almost oppressive, the shadows on the walls seemed to deepen, and the distant drumbeat intensified, echoing the unsettling rhythm of her own heart. The prophecy was not merely a story, it was a living, breathing warning, a call to awareness that resonated with the deepest parts of her soul. She looked at her grandmother, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and a burgeoning sense of purpose, understanding that her own life, and the lives of everyone she knew, were poised on the precipice of an unimaginable transformation. The world, as she knew it, was about to be irrevocably altered, and the ancient echoes of Malinali's words would serve as her guide through the coming storm. Far above the shimmering waters of Lake Texcoco, atop the highest platform of the great temple, courtly stood a solitary figure silhouetted against the velvet expanse of the night sky. The air here was thinner, cooler, carrying the faint, earthy scent of damp stone and the distant, rhythmic pulse of the city's life below. The vastness of the cosmos unfolded above him, a breathtaking tapestry of glittering stars, each one a tiny, distant sun, seemingly indifferent to the earthly concerns of man. Yet, for Quartly, a priest and an astronomer, these celestial bodies were not indifferent, they were messengers, silent oracles whose movements and alignments held profound significance, revealing the intricate dance of destiny. Tonight, the message was clearer, more insistent, and deeply unsettling. A particular alignment of stars, one he had only ever read about in ancient codices, in the cryptic writings of long-dead priests, was unfolding before his very eyes. The constellation known as the Great Serpent, a winding river of stars that stretched across the northern sky, seemed to pulse with an unusual intensity. And directly beneath it, a cluster of stars, usually faint and unassuming, now shone with an uncharacteristic brilliance, forming a distinct, almost ominous, pattern. Quartly's breath hitched in his throat. This was it. The celestial confirmation. The ancient text spoke of this alignment as the conjunction of the serpent's eye, an omen of profound cosmic upheaval, a time when the veil between worlds thinned, and forces from beyond the known horizon would make their presence felt. It was a sign often associated with the return of Quetzalcoatl, but not in the benevolent, life-giving aspect often celebrated. This particular configuration spoke of the feathered serpent as a harbinger of change, a force that would shatter the old to make way for the new, a process often violent and disorienting. He raised a hand, his fingers tracing the invisible lines connecting the stars, his mind racing through the complex calculations and interpretations he had committed to memory. The precision of the alignment was undeniable, chilling in its accuracy. It was not a subtle shift, not a fleeting phenomenon, but a grand, deliberate orchestration of the cosmos, a celestial declaration of impending transformation. The weight of this knowledge pressed down on him, a heavy mantle of responsibility. He was a keeper of the sacred knowledge, a reader of the cosmic script, and the message he was now deciphering was one that would shake the very foundations of his world. A cold gust of wind swept across the pyramid platform, ruffling his ceremonial garments, making the obsidian mirrors he used for observation shimmer with reflected starlight. He felt a profound sense of isolation, standing alone at the pinnacle of his city, privy to a truth that most of his people were blissfully unaware of. The rhythmic chanting from a distant temple, the faint sounds of leave from the sleeping city below, all seemed to recede, becoming distant echoes in the face of the cosmic pronouncement. The stars, usually a source of comfort and order, now seemed to gaze back at him with an ancient, knowing intensity, their cold light piercing through the layers of his understanding. He thought of the whispers he had heard, the strange portents reported by merchants from the coast, large, unidentifiable ships, like floating mountains, seen on the distant horizon, men with pale skin and strange garments, speaking in guttural tongues. He had dismissed them as travelers' tales, exaggerations born of fear and unfamiliarity. But now, with the stars confirming the ancient prophecy, those whispers took on a terrifying new significance. This was not merely a local disturbance, a tribal skirmish, or a regional drought. This was a cosmic event, a turning point in the grand cycle of existence, foretold by the very fabric of the universe. The implications were vast, stretching beyond the immediate future, touching upon the very essence of their culture, their beliefs, their place in the cosmos. The resilience of his people had been tested before, through famine, through war, through the rise and fall of empires. But this felt different, an unknown challenge from an unknown world, carrying with it the heavy burden of empire and the unsettling allure of an uncertain future. Quartly lowered his gaze from the celestial tapestry, his eye sweeping across the sprawling, magnificent city below, its temples and palaces bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, its canals reflecting the myriad stars. He saw the intricate network of life, the chinampas that fed them, the causeways that connected them, the vibrant heart of a civilization that had flourished for centuries. And he knew, with a chilling certainty, that all of it, every stone, every life, every sacred tradition, was about to face a trial unlike any it had ever known. The stars had spoken, and their message was grave, profound, and undeniably ominous. The cycle was turning, and the world, as they knew it, would never be the same. The stars had spoken, and their message was grave, profound, and undeniably ominous. The cycle was turning, and the world, as they knew it, would never be the same. As the last vestiges of twilight bled from the western sky, painting the distant volcanoes in shades of bruised purple and smoldering orange, a different kind of light began to bloom across Tenochtitlan. Torches flickered to leave along the causeways, casting dancing shadows that stretched and shrank with every gust of wind, while within the temple precincts, braziers of copal incense glowed like watchful eyes. A hush, deeper than the mere absence of daylight, settled over the city, broken only by the distant, rhythmic thrum of a teponazli drum, its hollow, woody voice echoing across the still waters of Lake Texcoco, a heartbeat for the anxious city. Within the sacred heart of the Templo Mayor complex, in a chamber carved from obsidian and adorned with glyphs depicting the endless dance of creation and destruction, Xochitl, the serpent woman, prepared for the most solemn ritual of her leave. Her face, usually a mask of serene authority, was now etched with a profound concern, lines of worry deepening around her eyes, which held the ancient wisdom of her lineage and the heavy burden of her people's future. She moved with a deliberate grace, each movement a part of a centuries-old dance, her simple white cotton huipil a stark contrast to the elaborate feathered regalia she sometimes wore for public ceremonies. Tonight, the ritual was not for show, but for survival. The air in the chamber was thick with the earthy, sweet aroma of copal, mingling with the faint, metallic tang of dried blood from previous offerings, a reminder of the sacrifices made to maintain cosmic balance. Before her, on a low stone altar, lay an array of sacred objects, a polished obsidian mirror, its surface like liquid night, waiting to reveal visions, a bowl of pure water, reflecting the single flickering flame of a beeswax candle, and a small, intricately carved jade chelcha Xochitl, a symbol of the preciousness of leaf itself. The drum outside intensified its beat, a slow, insistent pulse that seemed to resonate deep within her bones, aligning her own rhythm with the ancient forces she sought to invoke. Xochitl knelt, her knees pressing into the cool, smooth stone floor, a grounding sensation amidst the swirling anxieties in her mind. She closed her eyes, drawing a slow, measured breath, allowing the scent of copal to fill her lungs, to cleanse her thoughts. She envisioned the vastness of the cosmos, the shimmering expanse of the Milky Way, Xochitl, the star skirt, arching over their island city, over the towering volcanoes, over the endless cycle of planting and harvest. She thought of the ancestors, the wise ones who had guided their people through droughts and floods, through wars and triumphs, their voices now whispers on the wind, their wisdom encoded in the glyphs that adorned the very walls around her. Xochitl knelt, her knees pressing into the cool, smooth stone floor, a grounding sensation amidst the swirling anxieties in her mind. She closed her eyes, drawing a slow, measured breath, allowing the scent of copal to fill her lungs, to cleanse her thoughts. She envisioned the vastness of the cosmos, the shimmering expanse of the Milky Way, Xochitl, the star skirt, arching over their island city, over the towering volcanoes, over the endless cycle of planting and harvest. She thought of the ancestors, the wise ones who had guided their people through droughts and floods, through wars and triumphs, their voices now whispers on the wind, their wisdom encoded in the glyphs that adorned the very walls around her. The weight of prophecy pressed upon her, a tangible presence in the silent chamber. For generations, the elders had spoken of a time of great upheaval, a turning of the fifth sun, a moment when the delicate balance between the human world and the divine realm would be tested. The omens had been accumulating, subtle at first, then growing in frequency and intensity, comets streaking across the night sky, strange birds with unknown calls, tremors that shook the very foundations of their temples, and now, the chilling reports from the eastern coast to floating mountains on the sea, pale-skinned men with thunderous weapons. Each report had sent a fresh tremor through the Karmikak, the priestly schools, and through the very heart of the Tlatoani, the great speaker, Moctezuma himself. She opened her eyes, her gaze fixed on the obsidian mirror. It was not merely a reflective surface, it was a portal, a window into the unseen, a tool for communication with the gods, with Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror, lord of the night sky, fate, and sorcery. With trembling hands, she took a small, sharp obsidian blade, its edge honed to a razor's keenness, and made a shallow incision on her forearm. A bead of dark, rich blood welled up, glistening in the candlelight. This was not a sacrifice of Liev, but an offering of her own essence, a profound plea for clarity, for understanding. She smeared a small amount of the blood onto the surface of the mirror, its dark sheen momentarily disturbed by the crimson streak, then absorbing it, becoming even deeper, more profound. As the blood vanished into the obsidian, the chamber seemed to grow colder, the air crackling with an unseen energy. The single candle flame elongated, then danced wildly, though no breeze stirred. Xochitl leaned closer to the mirror, her breath misting slightly on its surface. She focused her will, her fervent desire for guidance, pouring all her spiritual energy into the act. She saw not her own reflection, but a swirling vortex of darkness, a cosmic maelstrom that seemed to pull at her very soul. Images began to coalesce within the depths of the obsidian, fleeting and dreamlike, yet terrifyingly real. She saw the familiar landscape of Tenochtitlan, but it was subtly wrong, distorted. The canals, usually teeming with canoes, were eerily still, their waters murky. The vibrant market, the Chanquiztli, was silent, its colorful stalls empty. Then, the images shifted, becoming more ominous. She saw figures, tall and pale, clad in strange, gleaming armor, their faces obscured by shadows, but their intent clear, conquest. They moved through the city, not as guests, but as invaders, their footsteps echoing with a terrible finality. A wave of despair washed over her, a cold dread that threatened to extinguish the flame of her resolve. Was this the end? Was this the prophecy fulfilled, the destruction of their world, the unmaking of all they had built? Her heart ached with the pain of 1,000 generations, the memory of their ancestors' struggles, their triumphs, their sacred traditions, all threatened by this encroaching darkness. But then, amidst the chaos, another image flickered into view, faint but persistent. It was a seed, small and resilient, buried deep within the earth, beneath the ruins of what had been. And from that seed, a tiny shoot began to emerge, pushing through the hardened soil, reaching for a distant, nascent light. It was a vision of continuity, of resilience, of Liev's enduring power to find a way, even after the most devastating cataclysms. It was not a promise of salvation, but a whisper of hope, a reminder that cycles always turn, that death gives way to rebirth, that even in destruction, the seeds of new beginnings are sown. The vision faded, leaving the obsidian mirror once again dark and still, reflecting only the flickering candlelight and Xochitl's own tear-streaked face. Her body trembled, not from fear, but from the sheer intensity of the spiritual communion, the profound weight of the revelations. She knew now that the path ahead would be fraught with unimaginable challenges, that their empire, their way of life, stood on the precipice of an abyss. The omens were clear, the prophecies unfolding before their very eyes. Yet a quiet strength settled within her, a solemn resolve born from the depths of her despair. The vision of the seed, the enduring cycle of life and death, had reminded her that even in the face of overwhelming change, the spirit of their people, their culture, their memory, could endure. It would not be the same, no, the world would be irrevocably altered, but perhaps, just perhaps, something essential could be preserved, carried forward into the new dawn, however distant and uncertain it might seem. She rose slowly, her movement stiff, but her spirit imbued with a renewed sense of purpose. The teponaztli drum outside continued its rhythmic beat, a steady, unwavering pulse in the heart of the night. It was a sound that had accompanied generations of her people, through joy and sorrow, through peace and war. It was the sound of persistence, of endurance, of the unyielding spirit of Tenochtitlan. Xochitl knew that she had to convey this message, this profound and terrible truth, to Moctezuma, to the Tlatoani who carried the ultimate burden of their people's destiny. It would not be an easy conversation, for the truth was often a bitter draught to swallow, especially when it spoke of the unmaking of a world. But she also knew that ignorance was a far greater danger. They had to face what was coming, not with blind fear, but with open eyes, with courage, and with the deep, abiding wisdom of their ancestors. As she stepped out of the sacred chamber, the cool night air embraced her, carrying the earthy scent of damp soil from the chinampas and the lingering sweetness of copal. The city slept, cradled by the lake, bathed in the soft glow of the moon, its canals shimmering like silver ribbons. The distant volcanoes stood sentinel, silent witnesses to the unfolding drama of humanity. Xochitl looked up at the vast expanse of the night sky, at the countless stars that had guided her people for millennia. They were still there, shining with their ancient light, reminding her that even as one cycle ended, another was always beginning, an eternal dance of creation and dissolution, a profound and ceaseless turning of the cosmic wheel. The future was uncertain, but the spirit of Tenochtitlan, like the resilient seed, would find a way to endure, to adapt, to remember. As the last vestiges of the sun dipped below the distant volcanic peaks, painting the western sky in hues of fiery orange and deep violet, a profound stillness settled over Tenochtitlan. The city, which had hummed with the vibrant energy of 1,000 lives just moments before, now began its slow, graceful descent into the quiet embrace of night. From the lofty vantage point of the great temple's upper terraces, where Xochitl stood, the sprawling metropolis transformed into a breathtaking tapestry of twinkling lights, each flickering flame a tiny beacon against the encroaching darkness. These myriad pinpricks of light, scattered across the vast expanse of the lake, seemed to mirror the countless stars that were now beginning to emerge in the deepening indigo dome above, reflecting the immense, unknowable vastness of the cosmos in the tranquil waters below. A cool breeze, carrying the faint, earthy scent of damp soil from the chinampas and the sweet, resinous aroma of copal incense wafting from distant shrines, stirred the air around her, rustling the feathers of her ceremonial cloak. It was a familiar scent, one that had been woven into the very fabric of her life since childhood, a comforting anchor in a world that felt increasingly adrift. The gentle, rhythmic lapping of water against the hulls of countless canoes in the canals below provided a soft, ceaseless lullaby, a counterpoint to the distant, haunting beat of a teponazli drum that echoed across the lake, a sound both ancient and deeply resonant, speaking of rituals and history stretching back through generations. Xochitl remained on the terrace, her gaze sweeping across the magnificent city, her heart a complex knot of pride and a burgeoning, unsettling anxiety. She watched as the last few canoes, laden with late-returning merchants or fishermen, glided silently through the intricate network of waterways, their silhouettes dark and ephemeral against the silvering surface of the canals. The sounds of daily life, once so vibrant and insistent, now softened into a muted hum, a collective breath held before the deep slumber of the city. She thought of the bustling markets, the vibrant discussions in the karmikak, the laughter of children playing by the water's edge, all now receding into the quietude of the night, awaiting the dawn to reawaken them. Her thoughts, however, were not of the day that had passed, but of the days to come, days shrouded in an impenetrable mist. The encounter with the strangers, the unsettling omens, the growing unrest among the tributary states, all these threads wove a tapestry of uncertainty that tightened around her spirit. She had always been a woman of action, a strategist, a leader who found solace in order and clear purpose, but now, the path ahead seemed to splinter into countless, bewildering directions, each fraught with unknown perils. The weight of prophecy, a burden both sacred and terrifying, pressed down upon her, whispering of cycles ending, of great changes that would reshape the very foundations of their world. She walked slowly along the edge of the terrace, her sandals making soft, almost imperceptible sounds on the stone. Below, the city was a geometric marvel, a testament to the ingenuity and power of her people. The causeways, straight and unwavering, stretched out across the lake, connecting Tenochtitlan to the mainland, arteries of commerce and communication. The chinampas, those fertile floating gardens, were dark rectangles now, their bounty sleeping beneath the moon, a symbol of their mastery over nature, their ability to coax life from the water itself. Yet, even in this magnificent display of human achievement, she felt a profound sense of humanity's fragile place within the vastness of the cosmos. They had built this empire, had cultivated this incredible civilization, but were they truly masters of their own destiny, or merely players in a grander, more ancient drama orchestrated by forces beyond their comprehension? Her mind drifted back to the ancient stories, the myths of creation and destruction, of the sun gods who had sacrificed themselves to bring light and leave to the world. Her people believed in the cyclical nature of existence, in the constant dance of creation and dissolution, a profound and ceaseless turning of the cosmic wheel. The stars above, those ancient, unwavering lights, had guided her people for millennia, their patterns holding the secrets of time and destiny. They were still there, shining with their eternal light, reminding her that even as one cycle ended, another was always beginning, an eternal dance of creation and dissolution, a profound and ceaseless turning of the cosmic wheel. The future was uncertain, but the spirit of Tenochtitlan, like the resilient seed, would find a way to endure, to adapt, to remember. A solitary figure emerged from the shadows of a nearby temple entrance, moving with a quiet grace that spoke of long years spent in reverence and contemplation. It was Xochitl, the elder priest, his white hair gleaming faintly in the nascent moonlight, his face etched with the wisdom of countless seasons. He approached Xochitl, his eyes, though ancient, still sharp and discerning, reflecting the myriad lights of the city below. He did not speak immediately, but simply stood beside her, his presence a comforting, familiar weight in the vast silence. "The stars are particularly bright tonight, Xochitl," Xochitl finally murmured, his voice a low, gravelly whisper like stones tumbling in a riverbed. "They watch over us, as they always have, bearing witness to the ebb and flow of empires, to the triumphs and trials of humanity." Xochitl turned to him, her gaze still fixed on the distant horizon, where the faint glow of the Milky Way, the Mixcoatl or cloud serpent, was beginning to unfurl across the heavens. "They watch, indeed, venerable Xochitl, but what do they foretell?" "The omens have been many, and their meaning, though clear in their warning, remains veiled in their ultimate consequence." Xochitl sighed, a sound like dry leaves rustling in the wind. "The gods do not speak in plain words, my dear Xochitl. They speak in whispers, in signs, in the movements of the heavens and the earth. It is for us to interpret, to understand, to act with wisdom and courage." He paused, his gaze sweeping over the sleeping city. "The Huhuetl, the ancient words of our ancestors, teach us that even in the darkest night, there is always the promise of dawn. But they also teach us that the path to that dawn is often fraught with hardship, with choices that test the very fiber of our being." Xochitl nodded slowly, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns carved into the stone railing. "I feel the weight of those choices, Xochitl, pressing down upon me like the very mountains. The strangers, with their strange ways and their insatiable hunger for gold, have introduced a new element into our world, an element that threatens to unravel the delicate balance we have maintained for so long." Her voice was low, tinged with a weariness she rarely allowed to show. "Montezuma struggles with their presence, torn between the fear of divine retribution and the practical necessities of diplomacy. He seeks guidance, but the answers are elusive, shifting like the mists over the lake. Montezuma carries a heavy burden," Xochitl conceded, his voice softening with understanding. "He is a man of deep piety, deeply steeped in the prophecies. The return of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, is a powerful narrative, one that has shaped our understanding of the cosmos for generations. To deny it is to deny the very foundation of our faith." He turned to face Xochitl fully, his ancient eyes piercing the gloom. "But the gods are also complex, Xochitl. Their manifestations are not always as we expect. Sometimes, what appears to be a divine return is merely a reflection, a distorted image, or a test of our resolve." A flicker of anxiety crossed Xochitl's face. "A test? But what kind of test, Xochitl? One that threatens to dismantle everything we have built? One that pits our traditions against an unknown, formidable force? I see the fear in the eyes of the people, the uncertainty that gnaws at their hearts. They look to us, to Montezuma, for answers, for reassurance, but what can we offer them when our own hearts are filled with disquiet?" The priest's gaze softened, filled with a deep, compassionate understanding. "We offer them strength, Xochitl. We offer them the wisdom of our ancestors, the resilience of our spirit. We remind them that Tenochtitlan has faced challenges before, great floods, devastating droughts, fierce enemies, and yet, we have always endured. We have always found a way to adapt, to rebuild, to emerge stronger." He gestured towards the vast, star-dusted sky. "The cosmos is a tapestry of endless change, of creation and destruction, of light and shadow. We are but a small thread in that tapestry, but a vital one. Our role is not to prevent change, for change is inevitable, but to guide our people through it, to ensure that the essence of who we are, our culture, our memory, our spirit, remains intact." Xochitl looked out at the city again, her gaze lingering on the dark silhouettes of the pyramids, their imposing forms reaching towards the heavens, monuments to their gods and their civilization. The rhythmic beat of the teponazli drum, now joined by the softer, more melodic tones of a clay flute, drifted across the water, a haunting melody that spoke of ancient rituals and profound reverence. The sounds seemed to weave themselves into the very fabric of the night, a reminder of the enduring power of their traditions, their connection to the spiritual realm. "But what if the change is too great, Xochitl?" she mused, her voice barely above a whisper, the question heavy with unspoken fear. "What if these strangers, with their metal and their strange beasts, represent a force that cannot be adapted to, cannot be absorbed? What if their presence signals not merely a new cycle, but an ending, a definitive rupture with all that has come before?" The thought, though terrifying, had been lurking in the recesses of her mind for weeks, a dark shadow that refused to dissipate. Xochitl's expression grew pensive, a deep sorrow clouding his ancient eyes. He understood the depth of her fear, for he, too, had felt the cold touch of that same apprehension. The Huhuatl also speak of the fragility of empires, Xochitl. They remind us that even the mightiest civilizations, like the greatest trees, can fall. But they also speak of the seeds that survive, the roots that run deep, the spirit that endures beyond physical destruction. He placed a gentle, reassuring hand on her arm, his touch surprisingly firm. "Our task, yours and mine, and Montezuma's, is to protect those seeds, to ensure that the memory of who we are, the wisdom of our ancestors, and the sacred knowledge of our gods, is preserved, no matter what storms may come." He paused, his gaze fixed on the distant, shimmering surface of the lake, where the moon, now high in the sky, cast a silver path across the water, a shimmering highway stretching towards the unknown. "The paths ahead are indeed diverging, Xochitl. One path leads to confrontation, to a desperate struggle against an overwhelming force. Another path leads to accommodation, to an attempt to integrate these strangers, to understand their ways, perhaps even to find common ground. And yet another path, perhaps the most difficult of all, leads to a strategic retreat, a preservation of our essence, a waiting for the opportune moment to reassert ourselves." Xochitl closed her eyes for a moment, the cool night air a balm against her troubled spirit. She could feel the vastness of the cosmos above her, the ancient wisdom of the earth beneath her feet, and the profound, intricate web of leaf that connected everything. The gentle lapping of the water, the earthy scent of the chinampas, the distant drumbeat, all these familiar sensations grounded her, reminding her of the enduring beauty and resilience of her world, even as it teetered on the precipice of monumental change. She opened her eyes, her gaze now resolute, though still tinged with a deep, reflective melancholy. "And which path do we choose, Venerable Xochitl?" she asked, her voice steady now, imbued with the strength of her lineage, the weight of her responsibility. Which path leads to the preservation of Tenochtitlan, to the survival of our people, to the continuation of our sacred traditions? Xochitl smiled faintly, a sad, knowing smile. That, my dear Xochitl, is the question that weighs upon the heart of every leader, every priest, every parent in this city. There is no single, clear answer, for the future is not a predetermined scroll, but a tapestry woven by the choices we make, by the actions we take, by the spirit with which we face the unknown. He turned to leave, his silhouette merging with the shadows of the temple. But remember this, Xochitl, even when paths diverge, the spirit of Tenochtitlan, like the resilient seed, will find a way to endure, to adapt, to remember. The stars will continue to watch, and the cosmic wheel will continue to turn, carrying us forward into whatever new dawn awaits. As Xochitl disappeared into the darkness, Xochitl remained on the terrace, alone once more with her thoughts and the vast, silent majesty of the night. The city lights twinkled below, a vibrant constellation mirroring the celestial one above, each a tiny flicker of life, of hope, of enduring spirit. The gentle lapping of the water, the earthy scent of the chinampas, the distant, rhythmic beat of the Templo Mayor drum, all these sounds and sensations enveloped her, a calming presence in the face of profound uncertainty. She knew that the coming days would demand difficult decisions, that the path ahead would be fraught with challenges, but as she looked up at the vast expanse of the night sky, at the countless stars that had guided her people for millennia, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet determination to face whatever the cosmic wheel might bring, to ensure that the spirit of Tenochtitlan, like the resilient seed, would find a way to endure, to adapt, to remember, for the eternal dance of creation and dissolution, the profound and ceaseless turning of the cosmic wheel, would continue, with or without them, but hopefully, with them, forever etched into the memory of the stars. The countless stars that had guided her people for millennia, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, a quiet determination to face whatever the cosmic wheel might bring, to ensure that the spirit of Tenochtitlan, like the resilient seed, would find a way to endure, to adapt, to remember, for the eternal dance of creation and dissolution, the profound and ceaseless turning of the cosmic wheel, would continue, with or without them, but hopefully, with them, forever etched into the memory of the stars. As the last sliver of moonlight dipped below the eastern horizon, painting the distant volcanic peaks in hues of deep indigo and soft violet, a profound stillness settled over Lake Texcoco. The air, once alive with the nocturnal murmurs of the city, now held its breath, anticipating the dawn. The gentle lapping of water against the canoe hulls tied along the canals became the only sound, a soft, rhythmic whisper that seemed to speak of ancient tides and timeless journeys. A cool breeze, carrying the earthy scent of damp soil from the chinampas and the lingering, sweet aroma of copal incense from the temple precincts, stirred the reeds along the water's edge, rustling them with a sound like hushed secrets. A young woman, Xochitl, whose name meant flower and whose spirit was as resilient as the marigolds blooming along the causeways, stood on the rooftop terrace of her family's dwelling. Her gaze swept across the sleeping city, a mosaic of low-slung adobe and stone structures, punctuated by the majestic, step pyramids that rose like silent sentinels towards the heavens. The Templo Mayor, its twin shrines dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, seemed to pulse with a quiet power, a heart beating at the very center of their world. She had spent most of the night in quiet contemplation, the words of the elders, the weight of prophecy, and the whispers of her own heart intertwining within her. She thought of her grandmother, Nana Xochitl, whose eyes held the wisdom of generations, and whose hands, though gnarled with age, still wove the most intricate patterns into cotton cloaks, patterns that told stories of creation and the sacred calendar. Nana Xochitl had spoken of the shifting winds, of omens seen in the flight of birds and the dreams of children, of a time when the world would be tested, when the very fabric of their existence would be stretched thin. Xochitl had listened, her young heart heavy with the unspoken fears that clung to the edges of their conversations, fears that spoke of strangers from across the great water, of prophecies that foretold both destruction and renewal. The city, usually vibrant with the shouts of merchants and the laughter of children by this hour, remained cloaked in a deep, almost reverent silence. Even the usually boisterous market stalls, which would soon burst into life with the scent of roasted maize and fresh cacao, seemed to hold their breath. This quiet was different from the usual pre-dawn hush. It felt pregnant with meaning, like the pause before a momentous decision or the deep breath before a profound utterance. Xochitl pulled her simple cotton huipil tighter around her, feeling the cool morning air on her skin, a sensation that grounded her in the present moment, yet her mind drifted through the currents of time. She remembered the stories her father, a skilled fisherman, would tell her as they navigated the canals in his Xochitl, his voice a low rumble against the splash of his paddle. He spoke of the lake as a living entity, its waters connecting every chinampa, every home, every life within Tenochtitlan. He spoke of the ancient ones who had built this city from mud and reeds, transforming a marshy island into a gleaming metropolis, a testament to their ingenuity and their unwavering faith in the gods. He spoke of resilience, of how the reeds bent but did not break in the fiercest storms, of how the fish, even when scarce, always returned. A faint, almost imperceptible tremor ran through the stone beneath her feet, a sensation so subtle that she might have dismissed it as imagination, had it not been for the way the distant surface of the lake seemed to shimmer for a fleeting instant. It was not an earthquake, not the kind that shook the very foundations of the earth, but something else, a resonance, a deep vibration that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the land itself. It was then that she heard it, a sound that began as a mere throb in the air, a low, resonant pulse that seemed to rise from the depths of the earth and carry across the vast expanse of the lake. Thump thump. Thump thump. Thump thump. It was the beat of a Templo Mayor drum, a hollow log drum, its voice deep and ancient, a sound that had accompanied rituals and ceremonies for centuries. But this beat was different. It was not the joyous rhythm of a festival, nor the urgent call to arms. It was slower, more deliberate, a cadence that spoke of introspection, of profound contemplation. Each beat seemed to hang in the air for a long moment before fading into the vast silence, only to be replaced by another, equally measured, equally resonant. The sound carried across the silent lake, echoing off the distant causeways and the sleeping pyramids, a call both ancient and undeniably foreboding. Xochitl's breath caught in her throat. Her ancestors had taught her to listen to the drums, to understand their language. This was a drumbeat that spoke of the collective spirit, of a shared destiny, of a moment when the veil between worlds felt thin. It was a sound that stirred something deep within her, a primal recognition of the sacred and the unknown. She felt the weight of her people's history, the triumphs and the sacrifices, the wisdom passed down through generations, all contained within those slow, deliberate beats. The sound seemed to emanate from the direction of the great temple, though it was impossible to pinpoint its exact source in the pre-dawn gloom. It was as if the city itself was breathing, its heart beating a slow, solemn rhythm. The air grew cooler, and a thin mist began to rise from the surface of the canals, swirling like spirits around the bases of the buildings, obscuring the lower portions of the pyramids, making them seem to float above a sea of ethereal clouds. The world felt suspended, caught between the darkness of night and the promise of day, between what was known and what was yet to unfold. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the sound wash over her, feeling it resonate in her chest, a profound vibration that connected her to the very stones of Tenochtitlan, to the water that sustained it, and to the sky that watched over it. She imagined the priests, perhaps, at the summit of the Templo Mayor, performing a dawn ritual, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of copal braziers, their voices chanting ancient prayers to the rising sun. But the drumbeat felt more personal, more intimate than a public ceremony. It felt like a heartbeat, a pulse of the city's soul. The sound continued, unwavering, a steady rhythm that seemed to mark the passage of time in a way that the sun and moon could not. It was a reminder that even in moments of uncertainty, even when the future felt shrouded in mist, there was a constant, an enduring spirit that pulsed beneath the surface of all things. It spoke of the cycle of life and death, of the eternal dance of creation and dissolution, of the profound interconnectedness of all beings. It was a call to remember, to honor, to endure. As the first faint blush of dawn began to paint the eastern sky, a delicate ribbon of rose and gold above the distant mountains, the drumbeat softened, becoming even more distant, more ethereal. It did not stop abruptly, but rather faded, each subsequent beat a little fainter, a little more absorbed by the waking world, until it was nothing more than a memory, a lingering echo in the quiet air. The mist on the canals began to dissipate, revealing the shimmering water, reflecting the nascent light of the new day. Xochitl, opened her eyes, a quiet strength settling within her. The sun would rise, as it always did, bringing light and warmth to Tenochtitlan. The canals would soon be bustling with canoes, the market alive with voices, the air filled with the scent of cooking and flowers. Life would continue, vibrant and resilient. But the memory of the drumbeat, that ancient, resonant call, would remain with her, a profound reminder of the enduring spirit of her people, of the deep wisdom held within the earth and the sky, and of the quiet determination needed to face the unfolding tapestry of their shared destiny, a destiny woven with threads of both light and shadow, forever bound to the cosmic wheel. The city, bathed in the soft glow of the nascent morning, seemed to breathe a collective sigh, ready to embrace whatever the new day and the unfolding future might bring. The city, bathed in the soft glow of the nascent morning, seemed to breathe a collective sigh, ready to embrace whatever the new day and the unfolding future might bring. As the first true rays of the sun, Xochitl, wheat sea low Xochitl, fiery embrace, stretched across the eastern horizon, painting the sky in hues of rose and gold over the distant volcanic peaks. Xochitl stood on the rooftop terrace of her family's home, the cool morning air a gentle caress against her skin. Below, the canals of Tenochtitlan began to stir, the rhythmic dip of paddles against water announcing the first market canoes, their hulls laden with fresh produce from the chinampas, chinampas. The earthy scent of damp soil, mingled with the sweet, lingering perfume of copal, incense from the night's rituals, drifted upwards, a familiar and comforting aroma that spoke of home and continuity. She watched as her younger brother, Xochitl, already nimble despite his years, helped their father load baskets onto their own canoe, his small frame earnest and focused. A warmth spread through Xochitl's chest, a quiet joy in the simple, enduring rhythms of their lives. The omens and prophesies, the whispers of change that had rippled through the city like a stone dropped into still water, still held their weight in her heart, yet this morning they felt less like a burden and more like a distant, inevitable tide. She understood now that the future was not a singular, unchangeable path, but a vast, intricate tapestry, woven by the hands of both gods and mortals, each thread contributing to its ultimate design. Later that morning, the great marketplace of Tlatelolco hummed with a vibrant energy that seemed to defy any shadow of uncertainty. Xochitl moved through the throng with her mother, her senses alive to the kaleidoscope of sights and sounds. The calls of merchants hawking their wares, the crisp crackle of toasted tortillas, the rich aroma of cacao beans, the vibrant colors of featherwork and textiles, created a symphony of daily life. Her mother, Malinali, her face etched with the wisdom of her years, navigated the bustling aisles with practiced ease, her eyes missing nothing. She paused at a stall displaying intricately carved obsidian mirrors, their dark surfaces gleaming, reflecting the faces of passers-by like pools of deep water. "They say these mirrors can show more than just a reflection," Malinali murmured, her voice soft, almost a whisper, as she picked up a particularly smooth, polished piece. "They say they can show glimpses of what is to come, or what has been." Xochitl looked at her own reflection in the obsidian, her young face serious, her dark eyes holding a depth beyond her years. The mirror showed her not just her physical form, but seemed to hint at the swirling thoughts within her, the questions about her people's destiny, the quiet strength she felt growing within her. "Do you believe that, Mother?" she asked, her voice equally low, the sounds of the market fading slightly around them. Malinali smiled, a gentle, knowing curve of her lips. "The gods speak to us in many ways, child. In the flight of birds, in the patterns of the stars, in the dreams that visit us in the night. And sometimes, in the reflections we choose to see. What matters is not what the mirror shows, but what we choose to do with what we see." She placed the mirror back carefully, her gaze meeting Xochitl's. "The future is not fixed, Xochitl. It is a river, and we are the canoes upon it. We can choose to paddle with the current, or against it, or we can choose to guide our own way, even when the river bends unexpectedly." Her mother's words resonated deeply within Xochitl. They spoke not of passive acceptance, but of active participation, of the enduring spirit of her people to adapt and to thrive, even in the face of the unknown. The weight of prophecy, which had sometimes felt like a heavy cloak, now felt more like a map, indicating potential paths rather than predetermined destinations. As the afternoon light softened, casting long shadows across the causeways, Xochitl found herself drawn to the great temple precinct. The colossal pyramids, Templo Mayor dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc, rose majestically into the sky, their stone surfaces warmed by the setting sun. The air here was different, imbued with a profound sense of history and reverence, the echoes of countless ceremonies and prayers clinging to the ancient stones. She watched as a group of priests, their elaborate headdresses catching the light, moved with solemn grace towards one of the smaller shrines, their chants a low, resonant hum that seemed to vibrate through the very earth. She thought of the stories her grandmother used to tell, tales of the Mexica's arduous journey from Aztlan, guided by omens and divine will, to this very spot, the eagle perched on a nopal cactus, devouring a serpent. It was a story of resilience, of faith, of building a magnificent city from the marshy waters of Lake Texcoco, a testament to their unwavering spirit. The city itself, an engineering marvel of canals, causeways, and floating gardens, was a living embodiment of their determination to shape their world according to their vision, a vision intertwined with the cosmos. Later that evening, as twilight deepened and the stars began to emerge, piercing the velvet sky like scattered jewels, Xochitl sat by the water's edge, her feet dangling in the cool, gentle current of a quiet canal. The distant, rhythmic beat of a teponazli drum, a low, resonant thrum, carried across the lake, a heartbeat of the city as it settled into its nightly slumber. The air was still, save for the whisper of the wind through the tall reeds and the occasional splash of a fish. Above her, the Milky Way, the Xochitl or cloud serpent, stretched across the heavens, a luminous river of stars. She remembered the teachings of the elders, that humanity's place in the cosmos was not one of insignificance, but of vital connection. Each individual leaf, each breath, each action, was a thread in the grand design, influencing the delicate balance of the universe. The cycle of life and death, so central to their beliefs, was not an end but a transformation, a continuous flow of energy and spirit. The maize growing in the chinampas, harvested and then replanted, was a constant reminder of this eternal cycle of rebirth and renewal. A soft rustle beside her announced the arrival of her grandfather, Xochitl, his presence a comforting warmth in the growing darkness. He settled beside her, his aged hands, gnarled from years of working the soil and weaving intricate patterns, resting on his knees. He did not speak immediately, but simply sat, sharing the quiet contemplation of the night. His scent, a mixture of earth, tobacco, and something uniquely his, brought a wave of profound peace to Xochitl. "The stars are bright tonight, little one," Xochitl finally said, his voice a low rumble, like stones shifting in a riverbed. He gestured upwards with a slow, deliberate hand. "Our ancestors watch over us from there, guiding us, reminding us of the vastness beyond our world, and the smallness of our worries." Xochitl leaned her head against his shoulder, feeling the comforting solidity of his presence. "Grandfather, the world feels uncertain. The omens, the whispers of strangers from across the great water, they weigh heavily on the hearts of many." Xochitl sighed, a sound like dry leaves rustling. "Change is the only constant, Xochitl. The sun rises and sets, the seasons turn, the maize grows and withers, only to grow again. Our ancestors faced many challenges, many uncertainties. They faced barren lands, fierce rivals, devastating floods. But they endured. They built this city, this great empire, not with brute force alone, but with wisdom, with adaptability, with a deep understanding of the rhythms of the earth and the will of the gods. He paused, his gaze fixed on the shimmering surface of the canal, where the starlight danced like tiny, scattered diamonds. The allure of empire, its power and its reach, can be a heavy burden. It demands much, and it promises much. But true strength, my child, lies not in the size of our armies or the height of our pyramids, but in the resilience of our spirit, in the strength of our community, in the preservation of our culture and our memories. These are the things that truly endure long after empires rise and fall. Xochitl considered his words, their wisdom settling into her heart like warm embers. The interconnectedness of nature and spirit, a concept she had learned since childhood, now took on a deeper meaning. The fate of their people was not separate from the fate of the earth, from the flow of the waters, from the cycles of the stars. They were all part of one grand, living tapestry. "What if the change is too great, grandfather?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper, reflecting the deepest fear that had gnawed at her. "What if we cannot adapt?" Xochitl turned his head, his eyes, dark and ancient, meeting hers. A gentle smile touched his lips, crinkling the corners of his eyes. The human spirit, Xochitl, is like the agave plant. It grows slowly, patiently, enduring harsh sun and dry seasons. And when the time is right, it sends forth a magnificent stalk, bearing fruit and sustenance for many. We are a people of the agave. We have faced droughts before, and we have found ways to draw water from the deepest earth. We have faced storms, and we have learned to build stronger canoes. He took her hand, his touch surprisingly firm, reassuring. The prophecies speak of cycles, of endings and beginnings. But they do not speak of annihilation. They speak of transformation. Our culture, our stories, our wisdom, these are not fragile things. They are carried in our hearts, in our songs, in the patterns of our weaving, in the very stones of our city. They are living things, passed from generation to generation, like the seeds of the maize. They will adapt, they will find new soil, they will continue to grow, even if the landscape around them changes. The distant drumbeat seemed to grow softer, more ethereal, blending with the gentle lapping of the canal water. A sense of profound peace settled over Xochitl. Her grandfather's words were not a denial of the challenges, but a powerful affirmation of their enduring spirit. The weight of prophecy, which had once felt like a preordained fate, now felt like a call to action, a reminder to be present, to be resilient, to cherish what was sacred. She imagined the city of Tenochtitlan not just as a collection of stone buildings and bustling markets, but as a living entity, its canals like veins, its chinampas like lungs, its pyramids reaching towards the heavens like a fervent prayer. It was a testament to the ingenuity and spirit of her ancestors, a legacy that would not simply vanish. It would transform, perhaps, but it would not be erased. As the moon, Xochitl's gentle light, rose higher in the sky, casting a silver sheen over the tranquil waters of the canal, Xochitl felt a quiet resolve bloom within her. The future, with all its uncertainties, no longer felt like an impending storm, but like a vast, unexplored horizon. She understood that her role, and the role of her people was not to fear the unknown, but to meet it with courage, with wisdom, and with the unwavering spirit that had always defined them. The air itself felt thick with a sense of ancient peace, a peace born not of absence, but of a deep, abiding presence, the presence of history, of spirit, of the enduring connection between humanity and the vast, indifferent, yet awe-inspiring universe. The distant volcanic peaks, Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, their snow-capped summits gleaming faintly under the moonlight, seemed to watch over the city with a timeless gaze, their slumbering power a testament to the earth's enduring might, a silent counterpoint to the fleeting leaves of mortals. Their presence, both majestic and humbling, reminded all who gazed upon them of the grand, cyclical nature of existence, of the eternal dance between creation and dissolution, between the fiery heart of the earth and the cool, expansive embrace of the cosmos. Within the quiet courtyards of the grandest homes, where the day's activities had now ceased, the last embers of cooking fires glowed softly, casting dancing shadows on intricately carved stone walls. The scent of roasted maize and chili, once vibrant, had now mellowed into a subtle, comforting memory, mingling with the fresh, clean aroma of night-blooming jasmine that climbed along trellises. Inside, families lay wrapped in woven cotton blankets, their breathing soft and even, their dreams weaving their own intricate narratives, perhaps of bountiful harvests, of victorious battles, or of the gentle laughter of children playing by the water's edge. Each sleeping form, each quiet breath, was a tiny, precious thread in the immense, leaving tapestry of the city, a testament to the resilience of life itself. The water, the very lifeblood of Tenochtitlan, continued its gentle, ceaseless movement. It lapped softly against the sturdy hulls of moored canoes, a sound so subtle it was almost a feeling, a rhythmic whisper that spoke of continuity and timelessness. It flowed through the intricate irrigation channels of the chinampas, nourishing the rich, dark soil where maize, beans, and squash grew in abundance, ensuring the sustenance of the city. These floating gardens, anchored to the lakebed by willow trees, were not merely agricultural marvels, they were living symbols of human ingenuity and adaptation, a testament to the Mexica's ability to thrive in harmony with their environment, to transform the very waters of the lake into fertile ground. Under the moon's silver gaze, the chinampas appeared as dark, rectangular patterns, a mosaic of life suspended upon the vast, dark canvas of the lake. Even the creatures of the night contributed to this profound peace. The soft hoot of a distant owl, a sound both ancient and familiar, drifted across the water, a gentle reminder of the wilder, untamed world beyond the city's meticulously planned boundaries. The faint chirping of crickets, a constant, delicate chorus, formed a subtle, rhythmic backdrop to the profound silence, a lullaby woven from the very fabric of the night. Occasionally, a fish would break the surface of the canal with a soft, almost imperceptible splash, sending ripples outward that caught the moonlight, momentarily disturbing the perfect reflection of the stars before the water settled once more into its tranquil, mirror-like state. For the Mexica, the night was not merely a time of rest, it was a time of profound connection, a time when the veil between worlds thinned, when the spirits of ancestors might draw closer, when the cosmos revealed its deepest truths. The stars, which blazed with an intensity rarely seen in other lands, were not just distant lights, they were the eyes of the gods, the celestial markers of time, the grand, unfolding narrative of destiny. Each constellation, each planet, held meaning, told a story, offered guidance to those who knew how to read their silent, luminous language. The vastness of the night sky, stretching endlessly above, instilled a sense of both profound humility and boundless wonder, reminding them of their small but significant place within the grand, eternal order of the universe. The weight of prophecy and omens, which often cast long shadows during the waking hours, seemed to soften under the moon's gentle glow. The anxieties about the future, the concerns for the empire's stability, the ever-present awareness of the cyclical nature of life and death, all these profound considerations seemed to recede, replaced by a quiet acceptance, a deep trust in the unfolding of time. There was a sense that even the most formidable challenges, the most daunting uncertainties, were but threads in a much larger, more intricate design, a cosmic tapestry woven by hands far greater than their own. The resilience of their people, their unwavering spirit in the face of change, was not a defiant roar, but a quiet, enduring hum, a deep-seated knowing that they would adapt, they would persevere, they would continue to honor their traditions and their gods. The preservation of culture and memory, a sacred duty passed down through generations, felt palpable in the stillness. The stories etched in glyphs on stone, the intricate patterns woven into textiles, the melodies of ancient songs carried on the wind, all these elements of their rich heritage seemed to resonate in the night air, a silent symphony of remembrance. The very stones of Tenochtitlan, the earth beneath their feet, the waters that cradled their city, all held the imprint of their ancestors, a continuous, unbroken chain of existence stretching back into the mists of time. This deep connection to their past gave them strength, a sense of belonging, an understanding that they were part of something far grander and more enduring than any single lifetime. The allure and burden of empire, too, found its quiet resolution in the night. The vast reach of their influence, the tribute that flowed into their city from distant lands, the power they wielded, all these aspects of their dominion were now subsumed into the overarching peace. The responsibilities of governance, the complexities of maintaining order, the constant vigilance required to protect their realm, all these weighty concerns receded into the background, allowing for a moment of profound respite. The empire, in its slumber, was not a symbol of conquest, but a testament to human organization, to the collective effort of countless individuals working towards a shared vision, a grand endeavor that, for this brief, tranquil period, simply was. As the hours of the night slowly turned, the moon began its gradual descent, casting longer, more ethereal shadows across the city. The air grew cooler, crisper, carrying a renewed sense of freshness. The stars, having shone with such brilliant intensity, began to soften, their light gradually dimming as the first faint hint of pre-dawn light began to paint the eastern horizon with the palest shades of rose and violet. The distant volcanoes, which had been dark silhouettes, now began to reveal their majestic forms, their contours slowly emerging from the receding darkness, promising the return of the sun, the ultimate source of life and warmth. The rhythmic lapping of the water against the canoe hulls became even more subtle, almost imperceptible, a sound that seemed to merge with the very silence of the night, a gentle, continuous whisper of the lake's embrace. The earthy scent of the chinampas, now refreshed by the cool night air, mingled with the faint, sweet perfume of the water lilies that floated on the canals, their petals still closed in slumber, awaiting the sun's awakening touch. The distant, rhythmic beat of the teponaztli drum had long since faded, leaving behind only the profound, resonant quiet of a world at rest. Teotihuacan, the magnificent city born of water and earth, lay in a deep, cosmic slumber, cradled by the vastness of Lake Texcoco, watched over by the ancient mountains and the eternal stars. It was a city that breathed with the rhythm of the cosmos, its every stone, every canal, every sleeping soul connected to the grand, unfolding narrative of existence. In this profound stillness, all tension dissolved, all anxieties receded, leaving behind only a sense of boundless peace, a deep, comforting serenity that permeated every fiber of being. The world, in this moment, was utterly at rest, a vast and majestic dream, ready to yield to the gentle, inevitable embrace of a new dawn, a new cycle, a new day in the eternal dance of life. The first whispers of dawn, a soft, pearlescent gray, began to paint the eastern sky, subtly outlining the distant, snow-capped peaks of Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl, which stood like silent, eternal guardians over the sleeping valley. A lone heron, disturbed by the nascent light, unfurled its great wings and lifted itself gracefully from the reedy banks of a Chinampas canal, its shadow momentarily rippling across the placid water before it ascended into the quiet air, a fleeting silhouette against the brightening horizon. Within the city, the profound stillness of the night slowly began to yield to the earliest stirrings of life, a gentle transition marked not by sudden noise, but by the gradual awakening of the world, like a flower unfurling its petals to the sun. Xochitl, her sleep light and dream-filled, stirred on her woven mat, the cool morning air a soft caress against her cheek, and she opened her eyes to the familiar, comforting dimness of her family's home, where the scent of drying herbs and earth still lingered from the previous day's activities. She rose with a quiet grace, her bare feet making no sound on the packed earth floor, and moved towards the small, open doorway that offered a glimpse of the canal just beyond their dwelling, where the first faint mist was beginning to dance above the water's surface. The world outside was still largely cloaked in shadow, but the quality of the light was changing, promising the arrival of the sun, and she felt a familiar sense of anticipation, a quiet joy that always accompanied the dawn. Her gaze drifted towards the family's small, meticulously kept garden plot, a vibrant tapestry of marigolds, amaranth, and chili peppers, all thriving in the rich soil of their Chinampas, which had been painstakingly built up from layers of mud and decaying vegetation over generations. She remembered her grandmother, her hands gnarled and strong, teaching her the names of each plant, explaining their uses, and imparting the ancient wisdom of how to coax life from the fertile earth, a legacy that Xochitl now carried within her own heart. The air itself seemed to hum with the promise of growth, a gentle energy that infused the very fabric of their island home, connecting every living thing in a delicate, intricate web of existence. As the sky deepened from gray to a soft rose and then to a brilliant gold, the city around her began to awaken in earnest, not with a jarring clamor, but with a symphony of gentle sounds, the distant splash of a paddle entering the water, the low murmur of voices from a neighboring dwelling, the rhythmic grinding of maize on a metate, all blending into a harmonious hum that spoke of daily life resuming its ancient, comforting rhythm. Xochitl stepped out onto the small platform before her home, taking a deep breath of the cool, fresh air, which carried the faint, earthy scent of the lake and the sweet perfume of blooming flowers from nearby gardens. The first rays of the sun, golden and warm, touched the highest peaks of the Templo Mayor in the distance, setting its twin shrines aglow with a sacred light, a beacon of the city's heart. Xochitl, having spent a portion of the night meditating on the rooftop of his family's grander, more centrally located dwelling, descended the stone steps with a quiet dignity, his mind still wrestling with the complex patterns of the stars he had observed and the subtle shifts in the wind that whispered ancient prophecies. The city, as it emerged from the embrace of night, always presented a different face to him, one of vibrant potential and profound responsibility, a weight he carried with a stoic grace that belied his relatively young years. He paused at a small, open courtyard, where a meticulously carved stone basin held water collected from the morning dew, its surface reflecting the nascent light of the sky like a polished obsidian mirror. He dipped his hands into the cool water, washing away the last vestiges of sleep, and then splashed his face, the invigorating chill sharpening his senses, preparing him for the demands of the day ahead. His thoughts, though often profound and complex, were rooted in the practicalities of governing, of ensuring the well-being of his people, and of maintaining the delicate balance between tradition and the ever-present currents of change that flowed through their vast empire. He knew that the omens, though sometimes cryptic, always held a kernel of truth, a warning or a promise that required careful interpretation and wise action, and he felt the immense weight of this knowledge settle upon his shoulders with the rising sun. A soft rustling sound drew his attention, and he turned to see Malinali emerging from an adjacent chamber, her long, dark hair still unbound, flowing like a silken river down her back, catching the first golden light of the morning. She moved with an innate elegance, her presence a calming counterpoint to its Xochitl's often intense contemplation, and she offered him a small, knowing smile that always seemed to reach the deepest parts of his soul. "The sun greets you, it's Xochitl," she said, her voice a soft melody, like the gentle rustling of dry grass, and she approached him, her hands already moving to gather the simple tools for preparing their morning meal. "And you, Malinali," he replied, his gaze softening as he met hers, a rare moment of unguarded tenderness passing between them in the quiet sanctity of the courtyard. He watched as she deftly arranged the clay pots and baskets, her movements economical and practiced, each action imbued with a quiet purpose that spoke of generations of women who had nurtured and sustained their families. There was a profound beauty in her simplicity, a strength in her quiet devotion, which he valued more than any political alliance or military victory, for it was the foundation upon which all else was built. As Malinali began to grind the soaked maize on the metate, the rhythmic scrape of stone against stone filling the courtyard with a comforting sound, Xochitl found himself reflecting on the intricate tapestry of their lives, how each individual thread, no matter how humble, contributed to the strength and beauty of the whole. He thought of the farmers tending their chinampas, the artisans crafting their intricate featherwork, the merchants traversing the causeways with their goods, and the priests interpreting the sacred calendar, all playing their part in the grand, unfolding drama of Tenochtitlan. The city was not merely a collection of buildings and people, it was a living, breathing entity, a testament to the ingenuity and spirit of the Mexica people, and he felt a surge of pride, mingled with a deep sense of responsibility for its continued prosperity. Meanwhile, Tlalocan, the elder priest, was already deep within the sacred precinct of the Templo Mayor, his bare feet cool against the polished stone floor of the temple dedicated to Tlaloc, the rain god. The air within the ancient sanctuary was thick with the lingering scent of copal incense from the previous night's rituals, a sweet, resinous aroma that spoke of reverence and communication with the divine. He stood before the massive, intricately carved statue of Tlaloc, Its goggle eyes and fanged mouth a powerful, ancient symbol of life-giving water and destructive storms, a duality that mirrored the very essence of existence. With slow, deliberate movements, Tlalocan began to prepare for the morning's offerings, arranging bowls of fresh maize, fragrant flowers, and small, carefully crafted effigies on the altar, each item placed with a profound respect born of a lifetime of devotion. He murmured ancient prayers, his voice a low, resonant chant that echoed softly within the stone chamber, invoking the blessings of the rain god for abundant harvests and the continued well-being of the Mexica people. The weight of his duties was immense, for he was a conduit between the human and divine realms, a guardian of the sacred knowledge that had been passed down through countless generations of priests, a lineage stretching back to the very origins of their people. He remembered the stories told by his own grandfather, tales of the arduous journey from Xochitl, of the prophecy of the eagle perched on a nopal cactus devouring a serpent, and of the miraculous founding of Tenochtitlan on a small, marshy island in the middle of a vast lake. These narratives were not mere legends, they were the very foundation of their identity, the sacred blueprint that guided their lives and their destiny, and Tlalocan felt a deep, abiding connection to this ancient heritage, a sense of belonging that transcended the boundaries of time. He knew that the future, though uncertain, was always rooted in the past, and that by honoring the ancestors and the gods, they ensured the continuity of their civilization. As the sun climbed higher, casting long, dramatic shadows across the pyramid's vast plaza, the city began to hum with a more robust energy, the sounds of commerce and daily life growing louder, yet still maintaining a sense of order and purpose. Canoes, laden with goods from the surrounding chinampas, fresh vegetables, fish, and woven mats, began to navigate the intricate network of canals, their paddles dipping rhythmically into the water, creating gentle ripples that spread outwards across the glassy surface. The air now carried the mingled scents of cooking fires, blooming flowers, and the earthy aroma of the lake, a rich tapestry of fragrances that defined the unique atmosphere of Tenochtitlan. Xochitl, having finished her morning chores and shared a simple meal with her family, prepared to embark on her journey to the great market of Tlatelolco, a bustling hub of commerce that drew people from all corners of the empire. She carefully arranged her basket, filled with fresh flowers and small, intricately woven textiles she had crafted, ensuring that each item was perfectly presented, for she took immense pride in her work. Her mother, a woman of quiet strength and deep wisdom, offered a few words of advice, reminding her to be fair in her dealings and to observe the world around her, for there was always something new to learn from the diverse array of people who gathered at the market. Stepping out of her dwelling, Xochitl untied her small canoe from its mooring post, its polished wooden surface gleaming in the morning sun, and she pushed off into the canal with a practiced ease, the paddle feeling like a natural extension of her arm. The journey through the waterways was always a source of quiet pleasure for her, a chance to observe the intimate details of city life unfolding along the banks, children playing by the water's edge, women washing clothes, men repairing their fishing nets, all leaving their lives in harmony with the rhythm of the canals. The water itself was a living artery, connecting every part of the city, carrying not just goods, but also stories, news, and the very pulse of Tenochtitlan. As she paddled further, the canals widened, and the architectural grandeur of the city became more apparent, with its impressive stone buildings, towering temples, and meticulously maintained causeways stretching across the lake like ancient, sacred pathways. She passed under several of the smaller wooden bridges that arched gracefully over the waterways, their sturdy construction a testament to the engineering prowess of her people, and she exchanged greetings with other canoeists, their voices echoing softly across the water. The journey was a slow, meditative progression, a gentle dance between human endeavor and the natural world, a harmonious blend that defined the very essence of their island metropolis. The sun, now higher in the sky, cast a warm, golden glow over the city, illuminating the vibrant colors of the murals adorning many of the buildings, depicting scenes of gods, warriors, and daily life, each stroke a testament to the artistic skill of the Mexica. Xochitl observed the intricate details of a particularly striking mural depicting Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, his benevolent gaze seeming to watch over the city, and she felt a profound connection to the ancient stories and beliefs that permeated every aspect of their culture. These were not just decorations, they were visual narratives, sacred texts etched into the very fabric of their city, reminding everyone of their origins and their destiny. Reaching the bustling outskirts of Tlatelolco, Xochitl skillfully navigated her canoe through the increasing traffic of other vessels, finally mooring it alongside dozens of others at a designated landing area, where the air was already thick with the sounds and smells of the sprawling market. The sheer scale of the marketplace was always awe-inspiring, a vibrant kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and textures that assaulted the senses in the most delightful way, a testament to the vastness and diversity of the Mexica Empire. She carefully lifted her basket from the canoe, securing her vessel, and then joined the throng of people making their way into the heart of the market, her heart filled with a quiet excitement. The market square was a dizzying array of stalls, each one overflowing with an astonishing variety of goods, shimmering obsidian blades, intricately woven cotton cloaks, vibrant featherwork, gleaming gold and silver jewelry, aromatic spices, exotic fruits, and a bewildering assortment of pottery. The air hummed with the chatter of merchants hawking their wares, the haggling of buyers, and the general murmur of thousands of people engaged in the ancient dance of commerce, a symphony of human activity that was both overwhelming and exhilarating. Xochitl found her usual spot, a small, shaded area near a vendor selling fragrant copal incense, and she carefully arranged her flowers and textiles, her eyes scanning the crowd for potential customers. Among the bustling crowds, Xochitl, the serpent woman, moved with a regal bearing, her presence commanding respect and deference wherever she went, her richly embroidered garments distinguishing her from the common folk. She was not merely a noble woman, she was a powerful figure within the political and religious hierarchy, a keeper of ancient knowledge and a shrewd observer of human nature, her sharp intellect always seeking to understand the underlying currents of power and influence. She was accompanied by a small retinue of attendants, their quiet efficiency ensuring that her path remained clear through the throng, yet she remained acutely aware of every detail unfolding around her. Her purpose at the market was not merely to purchase goods, but to gauge the pulse of the city, to listen to the whispers and rumors that often revealed more about the state of the empire than any official report. She paused at a stall displaying finely crafted jade jewelry, her fingers tracing the smooth, cool surface of a pendant, her mind already analyzing the quality of the craftsmanship and the origin of the stone, for even such small details could speak volumes about trade routes and resources. She exchanged a few polite words with the merchant, her questions subtle yet probing, eliciting information without revealing her true intentions, a skill she had honed over many years of navigating the complex world of Aztec politics. As she moved through the market, Xochitl observed the faces of the people, noting their expressions, their attire, and their interactions, each observation a piece of a larger mosaic that helped her understand the mood of the populace. She saw the joy in the eyes of a child receiving a new toy, the weariness on the face of a farmer, the determination of a young artisan, and the quiet dignity of an elder, all contributing to the vibrant tapestry of Tenochtitlan. She understood that the strength of the empire lay not just in its armies or its wealth, but in the spirit and resilience of its people, and she felt a deep, abiding commitment to their well-being, even as she wrestled with the difficult decisions that often accompanied her position. Her gaze, sharp and perceptive, eventually fell upon Xochitl's stall, drawn by the exquisite beauty of the flowers and the delicate artistry of the textiles, which seemed to glow with an inner light amidst the market's general clamor. Xochitl approached the young woman with a slow, deliberate pace, her attendants pausing a respectful distance away, and she admired the vibrant colors and intricate patterns of Xochitl's offerings, recognizing the skill and dedication that had gone into their creation. "These are truly beautiful, young one," she said, her voice soft yet authoritative, her eyes conveying a genuine appreciation for the craftsmanship. Xochitl, initially surprised by the attention of such an important figure, responded with a respectful bow, her heart fluttering slightly with a mixture of awe and pride, and she explained the origins of her flowers and the traditional meanings behind the patterns woven into her textiles. She spoke with a quiet confidence, her passion for her craft evident in every word, and Xochitl listened intently, her expression thoughtful, absorbing not just the information, but also the spirit of the young artisan. There was a purity in Xochitl's dedication, a connection to the earth and to tradition, that resonated deeply with Xochitl, reminding her of the enduring values that underpinned their civilization. After a brief, yet meaningful exchange, Xochitl selected a particularly vibrant bouquet of marigolds and a finely woven sash, their colors mirroring the hues of the rising sun, and she paid Xochitl generously, her gesture conveying not just a transaction, but a blessing. As she departed, leaving Xochitl with a sense of quiet triumph, Xochitl carried with her not just the beautiful items, but also a renewed sense of the vibrant spirit that thrived within the heart of Tenochtitlan, a spirit that would endure through all challenges. She understood that the future of their empire depended not only on the strength of its warriors and the wisdom of its leaders, but also on the creativity and dedication of its ordinary citizens, who kept the traditions alive and infused daily life with beauty and meaning. As the day progressed, the sun climbed to its zenith, casting a brilliant, almost blinding light upon the city, and the heat of midday settled over Tenochtitlan, causing many to seek the shade of awnings and porticos. The sounds of the market, though still present, softened slightly, as people moved with a more leisurely pace, conserving their energy during the warmest hours. Xochitl, having made several successful sales, found a moment of respite, sitting quietly at her stall, observing the ebb and flow of the crowd, her mind drifting to thoughts of her family and the quiet beauty of her chinampas home. She watched a group of young warriors, their bodies strong and agile, moving through the market with a purposeful stride, their feathered headdresses and gleaming obsidian weapons a striking contrast to the more mundane activities of the merchants. Their presence was a constant reminder of the military might of the Mexica Empire, a force that ensured the continued prosperity and dominance of Tenochtitlan, but also carried the heavy burden of conquest and sacrifice. Xochitl felt a complex mix of pride and apprehension, understanding that their strength was both a blessing and a potential source of conflict in a world constantly shifting with alliances and rivalries. Later in the afternoon, as the sun began its slow descent towards the western horizon, casting long, golden shadows across the city, a different kind of energy began to stir, one of anticipation for the evening's rituals and celebrations. The air grew cooler, carrying a refreshing breeze from the lake, and the sounds of the market gradually began to diminish as vendors packed up their wares, their voices growing softer as they prepared to return to their homes. Xochitl, her basket now lighter, felt a sense of contentment, her day having been both productive and inspiring, and she looked forward to the quiet journey back through the canals. She untied her canoe, its wooden surface still warm from the sun, and pushed off into the water, her paddle dipping silently into the calm canal, creating gentle ripples that spread outwards across the glassy surface. The light was now softer, imbued with a warm, golden hue that transformed the city into a landscape of dreams, its stone buildings and towering temples glowing with an ethereal beauty. The distant volcanoes, which had been stark and imposing earlier in the day, now appeared softened by the fading light, their peaks crowned with a delicate, rosy glow, like ancient sentinels guarding the sacred valley. As she paddled, Xochitl noticed the subtle changes in the light reflecting on the water, the way the colors shifted from gold to amber to a deep, shimmering violet, mirroring the transformation of the sky above. She passed by other canoes, their occupants also returning home, their faces softened by the evening light, and she exchanged quiet greetings, a shared sense of peace settling over the waterways. The journey home was always a time for reflection, a chance to process the day's events and to reconnect with the quiet rhythms of her own spirit, a gentle transition from the bustling energy of the market to the serene tranquility of her home. The air grew cooler still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine from nearby gardens, mingling with the earthy aroma of the lake, creating a rich tapestry of fragrances that filled the evening air. The first stars began to prick through the deepening twilight sky, appearing one by one like tiny, shimmering jewels scattered across a vast, dark canvas, their ancient light a comforting reminder of the cosmos's eternal presence. Xochitl felt a profound sense of connection to this vast, unfolding universe, understanding that her own life, though small, was an integral part of its grand design, a single thread in the intricate tapestry of existence. Reaching her chinampa, Xochitl moored her canoe with a practiced hand, its gentle rocking a familiar lullaby, and she stepped onto the soft earth, feeling the cool grass beneath her feet, a grounding sensation that always brought her back to the essence of her being. Her family greeted her with warm smiles, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of a small fire already kindled within their home, its flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. The aroma of cooking maize and beans filled the air, a comforting scent that spoke of home, sustenance, and the enduring bonds of family, a sanctuary from the wider world. Inside, as they shared their evening meal, the conversation was soft and gentle, filled with the day's small stories and observations, each voice a melodic note in the harmonious symphony of their shared lives. Xochitl recounted her experiences at the market, describing the vibrant colors and sounds, and sharing the encounter with Xochitl, her words painting vivid pictures for her family, who listened with rapt attention. Her mother smiled, a knowing look in her eyes, recognizing the significance of such an interaction, a subtle affirmation of Xochitl's growing skill and reputation within the community. After the meal, as the last vestiges of twilight faded from the sky, giving way to the deep, velvety blackness of night, Xochitl stepped outside once more, drawn by the profound beauty of the starlit heavens. The moon, a crescent of pure silver, hung low in the western sky, casting a soft, ethereal glow over the city, its light rippling across the surface of the lake like a million tiny diamonds. The air was cool and still, carrying only the faint, distant sounds of the city settling into its nightly slumber, a gentle hum that spoke of peace and tranquility. As she paddled, Xochitl noticed the subtle changes in the light reflecting on the water, the way the colors shifted from gold to amber to a deep, shimmering violet, mirroring the transformation of the sky above. She passed by other canoes, their occupants also returning home, their faces softened by the evening light, and she exchanged quiet greetings, a shared sense of peace settling over the waterways. The journey home was always a time for reflection, a chance to process the day's events and to reconnect with the quiet rhythms of her own spirit, a gentle transition from the bustling energy of the market to the serene tranquility of her home. The air grew cooler still, carrying the faint, sweet scent of night-blooming jasmine from nearby gardens, mingling with the earthy aroma of the lake, creating a rich tapestry of fragrances that filled the evening air. The first stars began to prick through the deepening twilight sky, appearing one by one like tiny, shimmering jewels scattered across a vast, dark canvas, their ancient light a comforting reminder of the cosmos's eternal presence. Xochitl felt a profound sense of connection to this vast, unfolding universe, understanding that her own life, though small, was an integral part of its grand design, a single thread in the intricate tapestry of existence. Reaching her chinampas, Xochitl moored her canoe with a practiced hand, its gentle rocking a familiar lullaby, and she stepped onto the soft earth, feeling the cool grass beneath her feet, a grounding sensation that always brought her back to the essence of her being. Her family greeted her with warm smiles, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of a small fire already kindled within their home, its flickering flames casting dancing shadows on the walls. The aroma of cooking maize and beans filled the air, a comforting scent that spoke of home, sustenance, and the enduring bonds of family, a sanctuary from the wider world. Inside, as they shared their evening meal, the conversation was soft and gentle, filled with the day's small stories and observations, each voice a melodic note in the harmonious symphony of their shared lives. Xochitl recounted her experiences at the market, describing the vibrant colors and sounds, and sharing the encounter with Xochitl, her words painting vivid pictures for her family, who listened with rapt attention. Her mother smiled, a knowing look in her eyes, recognizing the significance of such an interaction, a subtle affirmation of Xochitl's growing skill and reputation within the community. After the meal, as the last vestiges of twilight faded from the sky, giving way to the deep, velvety blackness of night, Xochitl stepped outside once more, drawn by the profound beauty of the starlit heavens. The moon, a crescent of pure silver, hung low in the western sky, casting a soft, ethereal glow over the city, its light rippling across the surface of the lake like a million tiny diamonds. The air was cool and still, carrying only the faint, distant sounds of the city settling into its nightly slumber, a gentle hum that spoke of peace and tranquility. She watched as the stars, now countless and brilliant, seemed to pulse with an ancient, silent energy, their patterns familiar yet ever mysterious, holding the secrets of the cosmos within their shimmering depths. She read her grandmother's stories of the constellations, of the gods who dwelled among them, and of the intricate dance of celestial bodies that governed the rhythms of life on Earth, a profound connection between the heavens and the human world. The vastness of the night sky always filled her with a sense of awe and wonder, reminding her of the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the visible world, and of the enduring mysteries that shaped their existence. In the quiet solitude of the night, Xochitl felt a deep sense of belonging, a profound connection to her ancestors, to her family, to her city, and to the very earth beneath her feet, all intertwined in a delicate, intricate web of life. The gentle lapping of the canal water against the banks, the soft rustling of the leaves in the night breeze, and the distant calls of nocturnal birds all blended into a soothing lullaby, a comforting symphony that cradled the sleeping city. She knew that even in the deepest darkness, there was always a glimmer of light, a promise of renewal, a testament to the enduring cycle of life and death that governed all things, and she embraced this truth with a quiet serenity. The city of Tenochtitlan, now fully immersed in the embrace of night, lay bathed in the soft, silver light of the moon, its majestic pyramids and intricate waterways transformed into a landscape of dreams, a silent testament to the ingenuity and spirit of its people. The distant volcanic peaks, now mere silhouettes against the star-strewn sky, stood as eternal guardians, watching over the sleeping metropolis, their ancient presence a constant reminder of the enduring power of nature. In this profound stillness, all the day's activities, its joys and challenges, its bustling energy and quiet reflections, dissolved into a gentle, flowing peace, leaving behind only the profound, resonant quiet of a world at rest. Tenochtitlan, the magnificent city born of water and earth, lay in a deep, cosmic slumber, cradled by the vastness of Lake Texcoco, watched over by the ancient mountains and the eternal stars. It was a city that breathed with the rhythm of the cosmos, its every stone, every canal, every sleeping soul connected to the grand, unfolding narrative of existence. In this profound stillness, all tension dissolved, all anxieties receded, leaving behind only a sense of boundless peace, a deep, comforting serenity that permeated every fiber of being. The world, in this moment, was utterly at rest, a vast and majestic dream, ready to yield to the gentle, inevitable embrace of a new dawn, a new cycle, a new day in the eternal dance of life. The first blush of dawn, a delicate watercolor of rose and amethyst, began to paint the eastern sky, slowly chasing away the lingering shadows that clung to the grand pyramids and the sleeping Calpulli of Teotihuacan, revealing the city in a soft, ethereal glow that promised the arrival of a new day. A gentle breeze, carrying the faint, earthy scent of damp soil and blooming water lilies, stirred across the vast expanse of Lake Texcoco, whispering secrets through the reeds and rustling the leaves of the cypress trees that lined the intricate network of canals, bringing with it the promise of warmth and light. The city, which had been held in the profound stillness of cosmic slumber, now began its slow, graceful awakening, not with a sudden jolt, but with a gradual, almost imperceptible stirring, like a giant animal stretching after a long, restorative sleep. High above the city, on the eastern side of the Templo Mayor, where the sanctuary of Xochitl, the hummingbird left, god of sun and war, stood sentinel, a lone figure. Xochitl, the obsidian serpent, stood in quiet contemplation, his gaze fixed upon the horizon where the sun, the great Tenochtitlan, was preparing its ascent, a daily miracle that filled him with both reverence and a profound sense of responsibility. The air was still cool and crisp, carrying the faint, distant calls of early morning birds, a heron's croak from the marshlands, the chirping of sparrows from the temple eaves, sounds that were slowly beginning to pierce the deep quiet, weaving themselves into the fabric of the awakening city, a gentle symphony of life. He wore a simple cotton maxtlatl and a thin cloak, its dark weave providing little warmth against the pre-dawn chill, but his spirit was warmed by the anticipation of the sun's embrace, a sacred moment that connected him directly to the cosmic forces that governed their world. Xochitl, a man whose wisdom was as deep and enduring as the ancient stones beneath his feet, had spent countless dawns in this very spot, watching the world transition from the realm of dreams to the realm of waking, a ritual that grounded him amidst the complexities of his duties as a revered Tenochtitlan, a speaker for his people, a leader entrusted with the welfare of the mighty majestic. He often reflected on the delicate balance of their existence, the constant interplay between the fertile waters of the lake and the fertile earth of the chinampas, the ceaseless labor required to sustain their magnificent city, and the spiritual devotion that permeated every aspect of their lives, a devotion that bound them to the gods and to the very pulse of the cosmos. The weight of his position, the responsibility for the prosperity and spiritual well-being of thousands, was a constant companion, yet in these quiet moments, bathed in the nascent light, he found a profound sense of peace, a clarity that allowed him to face the challenges of the day with unwavering resolve. As the first sliver of the sun's fiery disk breached the distant volcanic peaks, casting long, dramatic shadows across the eastern causeways and illuminating the mist that still clung to the surface of Lake Texcoco, Xochitl raised his hands in a gesture of profound respect and devotion, offering a silent prayer to Tenochtitlan, the life-giver, the sustainer of all creation. He felt the warmth of the sun's first rays on his skin, a gentle caress that promised renewal and strength, a blessing bestowed upon the city and its people, a daily reminder of the gods' benevolent presence in their lives. The city below him, still largely asleep, would soon burst into vibrant activity, its canals teeming with canoas, its marketplaces alive with the chatter of merchants, its temples echoing with the rhythmic beat of drums and the chanting of priests, but for this fleeting moment, it remained a tableau of serene beauty, a testament to the ingenuity and faith of the Mexica people. He descended the steep, worn steps of the Templo Mayor with a quiet dignity, his sandals making barely a sound on the ancient stone, his mind already turning to the day's tasks, to the council meetings, the diplomatic exchanges, the countless decisions that awaited his deliberation, each one a thread in the intricate tapestry of their empire. As he reached the bustling plaza below, where the first vendors were beginning to set up their stalls, arranging vibrant pyramids of fruits and vegetables, and the first priests were preparing for the morning rituals, he caught sight of a familiar figure, Malinali, the grass, a woman whose wisdom and knowledge of herbal medicine were as renowned as her gentle spirit, already tending to her small garden of medicinal plants near the temple complex. She moved with a quiet grace, her hands deftly separating tender shoots, her face illuminated by the growing light, a picture of serene devotion to her craft and to the healing power of the earth. Malinali, her silver hair braided with strands of vibrant blue thread, hummed a soft, ancient melody as she carefully gathered dew-kissed calendula petals and fragrant chamomile flowers, her movements precise and practiced, born of years spent communing with the earth and its botanical wonders. Her small garden, nestled in a quiet corner of the temple precinct, was a vibrant oasis of green and color, a testament to her profound understanding of the natural world and its intricate cycles, a place where she found solace and purpose amidst the grandeur and demands of the bustling city. The air around her was fragrant with the sweet, earthy scent of herbs, a soothing aroma that seemed to calm the very air, inviting peace and contemplation, a stark contrast to the more pungent smells of copal incense that would soon fill the plaza. She had risen long before dawn, as was her custom, to greet the sun and to gather her herbs when their potency was at its peak, a practice taught to her by her grandmother, a revered Tlamatanime, a wise woman whose knowledge had been passed down through generations, connecting Malinali to a lineage of healers and seers. Each plant, she believed, held a unique spirit, a specific energy that could be harnessed for healing, for protection, or for spiritual guidance, and she treated each one with the utmost respect, whispering prayers of gratitude as she carefully plucked its leaves or flowers. Her connection to the earth was profound, an almost tangible bond that allowed her to sense the subtle rhythms of nature, the ebb and flow of life and death, the intricate dance of creation and decay that mirrored the larger cosmic order. As Xochitl approached, his footsteps soft on the packed earth, Malinali looked up, her eyes, the color of rich, dark earth, sparkling with a gentle warmth, a knowing smile gracing her lips, for she had sensed his presence long before he spoke, a testament to the deep, unspoken understanding that existed between them. "The sun blesses us with another day, Xochitl," she said, her voice a soft, melodic murmur, like the gentle rustling of leaves in a summer breeze, a voice that carried the wisdom of countless seasons and the quiet strength of the earth itself. She offered him a small, woven basket filled with freshly picked herbs, their vibrant colors and intoxicating aromas a testament to the morning's bounty, a gesture of friendship and shared reverence for the life-giving forces of nature. Xochitl accepted the basket with a grateful nod, inhaling the refreshing fragrance of the herbs, feeling a sense of calm settle over him, a gentle respite from the weight of his responsibilities, a moment of pure, unadulterated peace in the company of a kindred spirit. "Indeed, Malinali," he replied, his voice a low, resonant rumble, "and your garden, as always, thrives under its gaze, a testament to your hands and your spirit, which are as nurturing as the earth itself." He often sought her counsel, not just for physical ailments, but for matters of the spirit, for her insight into the subtle energies of the world, her ability to see beyond the immediate, to understand the deeper currents that flowed beneath the surface of daily life, was invaluable. They stood in comfortable silence for a few moments, the sounds of the awakening city slowly growing around them, the distant shouts of vendors, the rhythmic splash of paddles in the canals, the rising hum of human activity, but within their small circle, a quiet tranquility prevailed, a shared space of reverence and understanding. It was in these stolen moments, amidst the grandeur of Teotihuacan, that the true heart of the city, its deep connection to nature and spirit, revealed itself, not in the imposing architecture or the bustling marketplaces, but in the quiet interactions between its people, in their shared respect for the ancient ways, in their profound appreciation for the delicate balance of life. Later that morning, as the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting a golden sheen upon the turquoise waters of the canals, Xochitl, the flower, found herself embarking on a journey across the city, a journey that would take her from the bustling Calpioli where she lived, near the heart of Teotihuacan, to the quieter, more secluded chinampas on the city's western edge, where her grandmother, Xochitl, the serpent woman, tended her ancestral plots. She sat in a small, sturdy car Nohr, expertly paddled by a young boy named Kwawtli, the eagle, whose youthful exuberance was matched only by his skill in navigating the intricate waterways, his paddle dipping silently into the water, propelling them forward with a smooth, rhythmic motion. The air was now warm and humid, carrying the mingled scents of copal incense from the temples, freshly baked tortillas from the market stalls, and the earthy aroma of the lake itself, a rich tapestry of smells that defined the vibrant life of the city. The canals were already teeming with life, a bustling aquatic highway where car Nohrs of all sizes, laden with goods ranging from vibrant textiles and gleaming obsidian tools to fragrant bundles of herbs and baskets overflowing with fresh produce, glided past one another with practiced ease, their occupants exchanging greetings and snippets of news. Xochitl watched the city unfold around her, a kaleidoscope of sights and sounds, a testament to the ingenuity of her ancestors who had built this magnificent metropolis upon the waters, transforming a marshy lake into a thriving center of culture and commerce. She marveled at the vibrant colors of the clothing worn by the people, the rich reds and blues of cotton cloaks, the intricately embroidered patterns on women's lace, each garment a work of art, a reflection of the majestic's deep appreciation for beauty and craftsmanship. As they navigated the labyrinthine waterways, passing beneath sturdy wooden bridges that connected the various districts of the city, Xochitl's thoughts drifted to her grandmother, Xochitl, a woman of formidable presence and profound wisdom, whose stories of the ancient times and her deep understanding of the spiritual world had always captivated Xochitl's imagination. Xochitl was not merely a farmer, she was a keeper of traditions, a guardian of ancestral knowledge, her hands as skilled in coaxing life from the earth as they were in weaving intricate patterns on her loom, her mind as sharp as the obsidian blades used by the warriors. Xochitl cherished these visits, for they offered a respite from the often demanding pace of city life, a chance to reconnect with the earth and with the ancient wisdom that flowed through her grandmother's veins. The canoa glided smoothly past the grand residential compounds of the nobles, their walls adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant murals depicting scenes of mythical heroes and powerful deities, then past the bustling Poctlan district, where merchants from distant lands displayed their exotic wares, shimmering quetzal feathers, precious jade carvings, fragrant cacao beans, a testament to the far-reaching influence of the Mexican Empire. Xochitl observed it all with a quiet fascination, her mind absorbing the myriad details, the subtle nuances of city life, the constant interplay of human endeavor and natural beauty that defined Tenochtitlan. She often reflected on the sheer scale of their achievement, the transformation of a swamp into a city of such grandeur and complexity, a feat that spoke volumes about the resilience and determination of her people. As they neared the western edge of the city, the canals became wider and less crowded, the imposing stone structures giving way to lush, verdant landscapes of the chinampas, the floating gardens that were the lifeblood of Tenochtitlan, providing sustenance for its vast population. Here, the air was cooler and cleaner, filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the earthy aroma of fertile soil, a refreshing change from the more concentrated scents of the city center. rows upon rows of meticulously cultivated plots stretched out before them, a patchwork quilt of greens and browns, interspersed with vibrant splashes of color from marigolds, dahlias, and the delicate blossoms of squash and beans, each chinampa a testament to the tireless labor and ingenious agricultural techniques of the Mexica farmers. Courtly, with a deft turn of his paddle, guided the canoa into a narrow waterway that snaked between two particularly fertile chinampas, their edges reinforced with woven reeds and sturdy willow trees, their rich soil yielding an abundance of crops. The rhythmic splash of his paddle was the only sound now, a soothing counterpoint to the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant calls of waterfowl, creating an atmosphere of profound tranquility. Xochitl felt a sense of peace settle over her, a deep contentment that came from being surrounded by such natural beauty and the quiet industry of the farmers, a stark contrast to the bustling energy of the city's core. Finally, they reached a small, secluded landing where a simple but sturdy dwelling, constructed of adobe and reeds, stood nestled amidst a grove of cypress trees, its thatched roof blending seamlessly with the surrounding foliage. Smoke curled lazily from its hearth, carrying the inviting scent of wood smoke and simmering maize, a warm and welcoming aroma that spoke of home and hearth. This was Xochitl's home, a sanctuary of ancient wisdom and earthy practicality, a place where the rhythms of life were dictated by the sun, the moon, and the fertile earth. Xochitl, her face a roadmap of wrinkles etched by years of sun and wisdom, her long, dark hair streaked with silver and braided with colorful threads, emerged from her dwelling, her eyes, sharp and perceptive, immediately finding Xochitl's canoa. A warm smile spread across her face, revealing teeth stained by years of chewing nixtamal, a smile that radiated both affection and a deep, abiding strength. She wore a simple, hand-woven huipil of undyed cotton, its natural fibers soft against her skin, and a sturdy enredo skirt, practical attire for her life among the chinampas. "Xochitl, my flower," Xochitl called out, her voice a rich, resonant tone, like the deep hum of the earth itself, a voice that carried the weight of generations of storytelling and wisdom. "You arrive just as the maize cakes are ready, and the atoll is warm." She extended a hand, her fingers gnarled but strong, to help Xochitl from